Greetings aspirants, welcome to REwise series by CivicCentreIAS. It is your essential guide to current affairs for the UPSC CSE Prelims 2025. In this episode, we will review the key events of August month 2024, focusing on the topics most relevant to your exam preparation. So stay tuned as we break down the news you need to know. And also, the PDF file for this discussion will be provided in the description. So please check it out and use it to your maximum. So now coming to the first one, the question is asked about the Delimitation Commission of India here. So before answering this question, we will know about the delimitation and also the Delimitation Commission of India. See, the delimitation is the process of defining constituency boundaries to reflect population changes. In terms of its constitutional basis, Article 82 mandates Parliament to enact a Delimitation Act and set up a commission after each census. Additionally, Article 170 allows the division of constituencies in state after every census. Regarding the powers of the Commission, the Delimitation Commission's decisions are final and cannot be challenged in court or changed by Parliament or state assemblies. And also, when it comes to the composition of the Delimitation Commission, it is appointed by the President along with the Election Commission of India. And the members include a retired Supreme Court judge who acts as a chairperson and also the Chief Election Commissioner and the respective state election commissioners. Looking at the historical timeline, commissions were set up in 1952, 1963, 1973 and 2002. However, no commission was formed after 1981 and 1991 census. As for the significance of the delimitation exercise, it ensures proportional representation by ensuring constituencies represent equal populations. Furthermore, it allocates seats for scheduled castes and also the scheduled tribes. Moreover, it operates as an impartial process free from any external influence or political influence. Ultimately, it ensures the principle of one vote, one value, promoting fairness in election. So, now let's get back to our question. Here, the question says that consider the following statements regarding the Delimitation Commission of India. And the first statement is, Delimitation Commission changes boundaries and seats of Lok Sabha and state assemblies after each census. See, this statement is correct. As we have discussed earlier, the Delimitation Commission does revise the boundaries and seats for Lok Sabha and state assemblies after each census. And coming to the second statement, Parliament or state legislatures can change the orders of the Delimitation Commission. Yeah, this statement is incorrect as the Delimitation Commission's order cannot be changed by Parliament or state legislatures. And the third statement says that last Delimitation Commission was based on 2011 census data. Yeah, the statement is correct. The last Delimitation Commission was based on 2001 census data and its final orders were implemented in 2008. But the 2011 census data was used for the most recent updates of the Commission. So now coming to the fourth statement, Delimitation Commission works independently and its decisions cannot be challenged. Yeah, the statement is true here because the Delimitation Commission works independently and its decisions are final and cannot be challenged. So here the correct answer is option B, which is statement 1, 3 and 4 are correct. Now there's another question. With reference to the Delimitation Commission in India, consider the following statements and we should identify the correct statements here. So now looking at the first statement, orders of the Delimitation Commission are not subject to judicial review. Yeah, this statement is correct because the Delimitation Commission's orders are not subject to any judicial review. And the second statement says that process of delimitation is carried out under the authority of a commission set up by an act of Parliament. Yeah, this statement is also true because the process of delimitation is conducted under the authority of the Delimitation Act 2002. Now coming to the third statement, Article 82 and 170 mandate the readjustment of seats and constituencies after each census. Yeah, this statement is also true as we have studied in constitutional basis of Delimitation Commission. Article 82 and 170 of the Constitution mandate the readjustment of seats in Lok Sabha and also state assembly after each census. So now coming to the fourth statement, Delimitation Commissions have been constituted 4 times since independence. This statement is also true and the years are 1952, 1963, 1973 and 2002. So here the answer is option D. All 4 statements are correct. Now here there is an PYQ on Delimitation Commission. So let's look into it. With reference to the Delimitation Commission, consider the following statements and we need to identify the correct statements here. See, the statements are: the orders of Delimitation Commission cannot be challenged in a court of law. Yeah, it's true. And second statement is: when the orders of Delimitation Commission are laid before the Lok Sabha or State Legislative Assembly, they cannot affect any modifications in the order. Second statement is also true. So the answer is option C, which says both 1 and 2 are correct. Now, moving on to the next topic. The question is on the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes and National Commission for Scheduled Castes, and also here National Commission for Minorities is also mentioned. So before answering this question, let's know about those commissions. See, National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes have some constitutional provisions. For Scheduled Castes, it is Article 388 Clause 8, and for Scheduled Tribes, it is Article 388A Clause 8. And according to the judicial powers, they can summon and examine people. In addition, they can inquire documents and records. And moreover, they have the power to receive evidence via affidavits. Finally, they can also issue commissions to examine witnesses or documents. See, now let's move on to the next one, National Commission for Minorities. Here, it has a statutory provision, not a constitutional provision, as it is a statutory body. See, here statutory provision is Section 9 Clause 4 of the National Commission for Minorities Act 1992. And here the judicial powers, like the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes and Scheduled Castes, they can also summon and examine people. Furthermore, they can inquire documents and records, and they also have the power to receive evidences via affidavits. Lastly, they can issue commissions to examine witnesses and documents. So now let's come back to our question. Here, which of the following statements is or are correct? See, first statement is National Commission for Scheduled Castes and National Commission for Scheduled Tribes derive their judicial powers from Article 338 and Article 338A. See, the statement is incorrect because while these commissions derive their investigative and recommendatory powers from these articles, they do not possess any judicial powers. So now let's move to the next option. National Commission for Minorities judicial powers are derived from the Constitution of India. See, this statement is also incorrect, as the body itself is a statutory body established by an act of parliament and its powers are not derived from the Constitution. Now coming to the next option, additional judicial powers of National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes are determined by the Parliament. The statement is correct, as the additional powers of National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes are determined by the Parliament. And coming to the fourth one, National Commissions for Minorities, additional judicial powers are decided by the President of India. See, here the statement is incorrect, as the additional powers for National Commission for Minorities, like those of National Commission for SCs and STs, are determined through legislation by the Parliament, not solely by the President or the Parliament. Now moving on to the next question. With reference to the District Mineral Foundation, consider the following statements. Here the question is asked on District Mineral Foundation. So before answering this question, let's know about the District Mineral Foundation. See, the District Mineral Foundation was established under MMDR Amendment Act 2015 with the primary purpose of supporting communities affected by the mining activities. Remember this point, the primary purpose of DMF is to support the communities affected by the mining activities. And to fund these efforts, contributors are made by mineral concessions holders, and also the foundation is managed by the state government, which tailors its efforts to local needs. And the Ministry of Mines acts as the nodal ministry for overseeing these initiatives. One key initiative of DMF is to support self-help groups for local product development, fostering sustainable entrepreneurship and empowering communities. And also, in line with this, the DMF Gallery and self-help groups were inaugurated by Union Minister Sri G. Kishan Reddy with the purpose of showcasing products created by SHGs, supported through both DMF, which is District Mineral Foundation, and also corporate social responsibilities efforts. For instance, the Krishna SHG from Odisha produces millet items and Tasar silk, while the Mahima SHG, also from Odisha, focuses on lemongrass and Japanese mint oil. Additionally, Hindustan Copper Limited facilitates a rotational showcase of 25 SHGs, which highlights the diverse range of products that are being developed and promoted with the support of DMF. So now let's go on to our question. See, the question says that with the reference to District Mineral Foundation, consider the following statements and identify the correct statements. See, here the first statement says that it was established through an amendment to the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 2015. See, this statement is correct. The District Mineral Foundation was established under the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Act 2015. And the second statement says that the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is the nodal ministry for DMF. See, this statement is incorrect. As we have discussed earlier, the nodal ministry for DMF is the Ministry of Mines. So coming to the third statement, the DMF funds are utilized for the welfare of people affected by mining operations. So this statement is true, as the DMF funds are specifically aimed and their primary objective is to benefit the local people who are affected by the mining activities. So now there's another question on DMF itself. Now let's see the question. What is the purpose or purposes of DMF foundations in India? See, they are asking about the purpose of the DMF foundations in India. So now let's look at the options and identify the correct one. Promoting mineral exploration activities in mineral rich districts. And the second statement says that protecting the interests of the persons affected by the mining operations. And finally, authorizing state governments to issue license for mineral exploration. Now let's break down these statements. See, the first statement is promoting mineral exploration activities in mineral rich districts. See, this is incorrect because the primary purpose of the DMF is not to promote mineral exploration, but to work for the welfare of people affected by the mining activities. And also, mineral exploration is primarily governed by agencies like Geological Survey of India and Mineral Exploration Corporation Limited. So, which says that statement 1 is incorrect. And coming to the second statement, the second statement says that protecting the interests of a persons affected by mining operations. Yeah, this statement is correct because DMFs are set up under the Mines and Minerals Development Act to protect the interests of people affected by the mining operations, and the funds are collected and used for the local area development and welfare programs to the people who are affected by the mining activities. So now let's look at the third statement. Authorizing state governments to issue licenses for mineral exploration. See, this statement is absolutely wrong because DMFs do not have the authority to issue mining license. Licensing for mineral exploration falls under the jurisdiction of the state government and the Ministry of Mines as per MMDR Act 1957. So here the correct answer is option B, which is statement 2 only. Now moving on to the next question. See, here the question is asked on the Central Information Commission. So before answering this question, let's know what the Central CIC is. See, the Central Information Commission was established under RTA Act 2005 with the primary objective of ensuring transparency and accountability by addressing RTA grievances and appeals. It operates under the Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions as its nodal ministry. As a statutory body, the CIC is not a constitutional body but plays a crucial role in implementing the Right to Information Act. And the composition of the CIC includes the Chief Information Commissioner and up to 10 Information Commissioners. As of the 2024, the current CIC is Hiralal Samaria. The appointing authority for the CIC and Information Commissioners is the President of India. And also the selection committee consists of the Prime Minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and a cabinet minister nominated by the Prime Minister. Looking at the regarding qualifications for CIC, those who are eligible for appointments must be experts in fields such as law, science, social service, journalism, or administration. However, there are restrictions. Appointees cannot be sitting members of parliament or legislative assemblies, nor can they engage in any businesses. And also talking about the tenure, CIC members have 3 years or until they reach 65 years of age, which comes first. And reappointment is not allowed, but an information commissioner can become the CIC. Overall, the total tenure of an information commissioner is 5 years. Regarding powers and functions, the CIC handles RTI appeals and complaints and also exercising quasi-judicial powers. These powers include summoning witnesses, demanding documents, issuing binding orders, imposing penalties. Additionally, the CIC submits annual reports to the central government and parliament. In terms of removal, the president can remove a member of the CIC for reasons such as insolvency, conviction, or misconduct. So, now let's get back to our question. So, the question goes like this. With reference to the Central Information Commission, in short CIC, consider the following statements. The first statement says that it is a statutory body established under the Right to Information Act 2005. The statement is correct as we have earlier discussed. The CIC is a statutory body and it is established under the Right to Information Act 2005. And coming to the second statement, the Chief Information Commissioner is appointed by the President of India. Yeah, this is also true. And coming to the third statement, CIC has the power to constitute benches and frame regulations. Yeah, this one statement is also correct as CIC has the power to constitute benches and frame the regulation. So here, as they have asked the correct statements, the option D is correct statement. Correct answer. Statement 1, 2 and 3. So now let's move to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the PM Schools for Rising India PM-SHRI scheme in short. So here they asked about the PM-SHRI scheme. So before answering this question, let's know what the scheme is about. So the PM Schools for Rising India scheme was launched on September 5th of 2022 with the objective of upgrading 14,500 schools across India to align with the National Education Policy 2020, benefiting over 20 lakh students. The implementation period for this scheme is from 2022 to 2027. And looking at the key features of the scheme, which include the establishment of exemplar schools that focuses on holistic development, innovative pedagogy, and modern infrastructure. Additionally, the schools will be built as green schools, incorporating sustainable practices. And also teacher training is also a significant component, ensuring educators are equipped with the necessary skills. Furthermore, the scheme emphasizes inclusive education, ensuring all students, regardless of background, and have access to quality learning experiences. And looking at the impact of PM-SHRI scheme, which is accepted to be profound, as it aims to improve the overall quality of education in India and set an example that will influence practices in other schools across the country. And also in alignment with National Education Policy 2020, this scheme focuses on experimental learning and competency-based education, inclusivity, technology integration, and also holistic development. So now let's get back to our question. See here, they ask statements and set to answer the correct ones. See, the first statement is, it is PM-SHRI. PM-SHRI is a centrally sponsored scheme launched by the Ministry of Education. See, this statement is correct as PM-SHRI scheme is indeed a centrally sponsored scheme launched by the Ministry of Education. And coming to the second statement, the scheme focuses on only digital infrastructure of the school. See, this statement is incorrect because there are many key objectives of the scheme. So the scheme focuses more than the digital infrastructure. It also aims to improve the overall quality of education in schools. So here the answer is option A, which says statement 1 only correct. So now moving on to the next question. Here the question is asked in assertion and reasoning format. So it is asked on FIR, which is First Information Report. So before answering this question, now let's know about FIR. See, FIR is an First Information Report is a written document created by the police when they receive information about a cognizable offense, and it serves as the official record of the incident. The legal basis for filing an FIR is outlined in Section 154 of the Criminal Procedure Code 1973, and the importance of an FIR lies in its role in initiating the criminal justice process, as it allows the police to begin investigating the case. As for who can lodge an FIR, it can be filed by the victim of the offense, witnesses, or any with knowledge of the crime. Additionally, the police can also file an FIR if they learn of cognizable offense on their own. See, when filing an FIR, the police must write down the oral information provided by the informant, who must then sign the FIR. Moreover, a free copy of the FIR must be given to the complaint. FIRs are categorized into cognizable and non-cognizable offenses. In cognizable offenses, the police can arrest without a warrant and investigate without court approval. For example, murder cases, rape cases, and also theft cases. While in non-cognizable offenses, the police need a warrant and a court approval to investigate. For example, defamation cases and public nuisance cases. See, what if a FIR is not registered? See here, then the complaint can approach senior police officers or file a complaint with the court. Furthermore, if there is no action taken, the complaint can report the issue to the Human Rights Commission. While filing an FIR, it is crucial to provide accurate and truthful information with all the key details, as false complaints are punishable under section 203 of the IPC sections. See, now let's get back to our question and answer the assertion and reasoning question. See, these type of questions are very important as they test the in-depth knowledge of an aspirant by asking the assertion and reasoning and whether it substantiates the assertion or not. So now let's look into the question. See, assertion is that FIR, the first information report, is the first official record of a cognizable offense and is legally mandated under section 154 of Criminal Procedure Code 1973. This is the assertion, and now let's look into the reason. An FIR is mandatory for the police to begin an investigation and is required before any arrest can be made in both cognizable and non-cognizable offenses. Now, see, it's very easy to answer as we have discussed it before. The assertion is true because FIR indeed is the first official record of a cognizable offense under the section 154 of the Criminal Procedure Code. See, now looking into the reason, an FIR is mandatory for the police to begin an investigation and is required both any arrest and can be made in both cognizable and non-cognizable offenses. See here, the reason is completely false because while an FIR is required to initiate an investigation for cognizable offenses only, it is not mandatory for the requirement of FIR for non-cognizable offenses, and also arrest can occur in cognizable offenses without an FIR in some cases too. So it's option C. Assertion is true, but reason is false. Now, moving on to the next question. The next question is on the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, in short FSSAI. So before answering this question, now let's dive into the topic. See here, the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India was established under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, and operates based on the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006. The vision of FSSAI is to ensure that the citizens to have access to safe, nutritious food, which helps to prevent diseases and promotes the overall health. Its mission is to set food standards, ensure business to adhere to them, and promote good manufacturing and hygiene practices to guarantee safe food access for all. And now looking at the functions of SSAI, the functions include regulating food safety, setting food standards, and overseeing the licensing processing of food businesses. Additionally, FSSAI is also responsible for managing food imports, and also it accredits laboratories across the India, and it also issues the food certifications to ensure compliance with the safety standards. So now let's move on to the question. See, the question goes like this. Consider the following statements regarding the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, FSSAI. See, the first statement is FSSAI is a statutory body under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Yeah, the statement 1 is true. And coming to the next statement, FSSAI is responsible for accrediting food testing laboratories across the India. Even this statement is also true. So the answer is option C, which is both 1 and 2 are correct. Now, moving on to the next question. The question is asked on the National Security Council of India. See, now before answering this question, let's dive into the topic. The National Security Council was founded in year 1998 by the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee after India's nuclear test, and serves as the apex body for managing national security in India. Its organizational structure consists of several key bodies, including the Strategic Policy Group, which is chaired by the Cabinet Secretary and includes senior officials like Armed Forces Chiefs, IB, which is Intelligence Bureau, and RAW. And the SPG's primary focus is to provide policy recommendations on national security. Additionally, there is the National Security Advisory Board made up of retired officials, experts, and academics, which offer long-term analysis on security, foreign affairs, and other key national issues. And also furthermore, the National Security Secretariat is headed by the National Security Advisor and is overseen by the Prime Minister. The National Security Council Secretariat is responsible for managing both internal and external security matters. The key roles with the National Security Councils are led by the Prime Minister, who chairs the council, and the National Security Advisor, who serves as the secretary and the primary advisor of the Prime Minister. Currently, Ajit Doval holds the position of National Security Advisor. And also the membership of the National Security Council includes the National Security Advisor, Deputy National Security Advisor, Ministers of Defense, External Affairs, Home Affairs, Finance, as well as the Chairman of Niti Aayog. And finally, appointments to the top positions within the National Security Councils, including that of the National Security Advisor, are made by the Appointment Committee of the Cabinet, which is led by the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. Now let's get back to our question. See, the question says that consider the following statements regarding the National Security Council. And the statement 1 is, the National Security Council was established in year 1998 by the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which is correct statement. And the second statement says that the National Security Advisor heads the National Security Council. This statement is false, as the National Security Council is headed by Prime Minister. And also, the third statement says that the Strategic Policy Group under National Security Council is chaired by the Cabinet Minister, which is a true statement. And the fourth statement says that the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet decides the appointment of the National Security Advisor. Here the statement 4 is also correct. So the final answer is option B, which is option statement 1, 3 and 4 are correct. Now moving on to the next question. See, here the question is asked about the open market sales scheme. So before answering this question, let's discuss about the OMSS, which is Open Market Sales Scheme. See, the Open Market Sales Scheme is operated by the Food Corporation of India, which was established in 1965 under the Food Corporation Act 1964, and it is operate under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. And the primary objective of FCI is to ensure food security and address food shortages across the India. So to achieve this, FCI has several mandates, including price support, which protects farmers by procuring food at the minimum support price, which is in short MSP. Additionally, it manages the public distribution system and distributing the food grains across the country through various government schemes, and also maintains the buffer stocks to stabilize the supply and control prices. And moreover, FCI operates the Open Market Sales Scheme, which is designed to sell surplus wheat and rice from the central pool in the open market. This process is conducted through e-auctions, where traders and retailers can bid for the surplus stocks. This you need to remember, this process is conducted through the e-auctions, where the sellers and retailers can bid the surplus stocks. See, and also the objectives of open market sales schemes are to regulate the food grain supply and also to control inflation, stabilize prices, and ensure availability in deficit areas. Under the OMSS, the bidding rules allow wheat to be bid for in quantities of 10 to 100 metric tons per bid, while rice can be bid for in quantities ranging from 10 to 1000 metric tons per bid. In 2024, the bidding limits were revised, reducing the maximum quantity from 3000 metric tons to 100 metric tons for both wheat and rice. This change aims to encourage small buyers and reduce monopolies and enhance competition in the market. So now let's get back to our question. See, consider the following statements regarding the open market sales scheme, and the statements are: under OMSS, Food Corporation of India sells surplus wheat and rice from central pool in the open market. This statement is correct, as the Food Corporation of India sells the surplus wheat and rice from the central pool in the open market, which we have discussed earlier. And second statement says that the scheme aims to regulate food grain supply and control inflation. See, this statement is also true, which is the primary objective of OMS are to regulate the supply of food grains in the market and control inflation by making food grains available to reasonable prices, especially during periods of scarcity. See, now looking at the third statement, it says that under the 2024 revision, maximum bid limit for wheat has been increased to 3000 metric tons. Here the third statement is incorrect, because the maximum bid limit for wheat under the 2024 revision has not been increased to 3000 metric tons, but has decreased to 10 to 100 metric tons per bidder. So here it is an incorrect statement, And now looking at the fourth statement, it says that grain deficit states can procure rice from FCI at 2,800 per quintal without participating in the e-auction. See, this statement is correct because grain deficit states can procure rice from the FCI at a fixed price of 2,800 rupees per quintal even without participating in the e-auction to ensure that they must have the sufficient supplies for distribution. And finally, here the answer is option B, which says statement 1, 2 and 4 are correct. So now moving on to the next question. This question is asked on the Financial Inclusion Index of RBI. See, now let's read question once before discussing the topic. As per the RBI's Financial Inclusion Index, what was the recorded value in March 2024? So to understand this in a better way, now let's discuss about the Financial Inclusion Index. See, the Financial Inclusion Index in India ensures access to banking, credit, insurance and payment services at affordable prices for all, with the aim of reducing financial barriers, promoting stability and combating poverty. The nodal authorities responsible for overseeing this financial inclusion are the Reserve Bank of India and the Ministry of Finance. And the objectives of financial inclusion include ensuring universal access to banking services, providing affordable financial products for low-income groups, and also empowering individuals with financial literacy and promoting digital banking. Additionally, it also aims to bridge the financial gaps between rural and urban areas. Now, the current status of financial inclusion in India shows positive progress. As of 2021, 78% of adults have bank accounts, according to the World Bank. And moreover, UPI transactions grew by 129% from financial year 2017 to 24. And the Financial Inclusion Index stands at 64.2, up from 60.1 in 2023. However, there remains a gender gap as women hold only 20.8% of bank deposits according to the NSO report of 2023. See here, the key initiatives that have contributed to financial inclusion include the PM Jan Dhan Yojana, which was launched in 2014, and the PM Mudra Yojana, which was launched in 2015, and the Kisan Credit Card, which was launched in 1998, and UPI, which was launched in 2016, and PM Suraksha Bima Yojana, which was launched in 2015, and PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which was also launched in 2015, and the National Strategy for Financial Inclusion. So now looking at the importance of the financial inclusion, the importance of the financial inclusion is very vast as it boosts economic growth and entrepreneurship, which reduces the poverty and promotes social equity. It also empowers women and MSMEs while bridging the rural-urban and digital divide. See, now let's get back to our question here. As per the RBI's Financial Inclusion Index, what was the recorded value in March 2024? See, as we have discussed earlier about the current status of the financial inclusion, the Financial Inclusion Index as per the March 2024 was 64.2, which reflecting the progress made in ensuring financial inclusion across the India. Now, let's move on to the next question. See, here the question is asked on the securities transactions on future and options trading. See, before answering this question, let's discuss about the futures and option trading. Futures are contracts where the buyer agrees to buy or the seller agrees to sell an asset at a fixed price on a future date. The purpose of futures contracts is primarily to hedge against price risks, such as when the farmer lock in crop prices to avoid future price fluctuations. There are two types of future contracts, which are financial futures and physical future. Financial futures are which include stocks, bonds, currencies and other financial instruments, whereas physical futures are which involves commodities like oil, gold and wheat. And now coming to the options, options are the contracts that give the buyer the right to buy or sell an asset at a set price on a future date. There are two main types of options, which are call option and put option. The call option is which grants the right to buy an asset at specific price, whereas the put option is which grants the right to sell an asset at a specific price. See, now looking at the future and option trading, which take place on stock and commodity exchanges. It requires a less capital than buying the asset directly, as it often involves the usage of leverage. And also, the future and option trading is commonly used for speculation or hedging against the potential price changes in the market. So now let's get back to our question here. With reference to the security transaction tax on futures and options, consider the following statements. See, the first statement says that the security transaction tax on the sale of an option in securities has been increased to 0.1% of the option premium. And the second statement says that the security transaction tax on the sale of a future contract is in securities has been increased to 0.02% of the trade price. See, here statement 1 is correct, which is the security transaction tax on the sale options in security have been raised to 0.1% of the option premium. And also statement 2 is also correct, as the contract sale price percentage has increased to 0.02% of the traded price. So here the option C is correct, which says that both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Now moving on to the next question. The question is asked on the green bonds. See, before discussing, let's see the question once. With reference to India's sovereign green bonds, consider the following statements. The Green Finance Working Committee oversees the governance of India's sovereign green bonds, and fossil fuel based projects including biomass from protected areas are excluded from the funding under the India sovereign green bonds. And also the third statement says that India's green bond framework has received a high green rating from CICERO, which is an institution from Norway, in full form Central for International Climate and Environmental Research. Now let's discuss what are green bonds. See, green bonds are debt instruments issued by the governments, corporations or multilateral banks to fund projects that aim to reduce emissions or improve climate resilience. These bonds typically offer lower yields known as the greenium compared to regular bonds, which helps to reduce the borrowing cost for issuers. The first issuance of green bonds was made by the World Bank in 2008. Since then, the market has grown rapidly. India's sovereign green bond was launched in 2022, aligning with the India's COP26 Panchamirt pledges. The governance of these bonds is overseen by the Green Financing Committee, with CICERO, a Norwegian firm, rating India's framework as medium green. And also, the eligible products for funding through the green bonds in India include renewable energy such as solar and wind, and sustainable transportation like metro rail systems, and also green buildings, pollution control initiatives, afforestation, and projects aimed at improving climate resilience. However, projects related to fossil fuel, nuclear power, and direct waste inclination are excluded from the eligibility. And there are several challenges for investors in India green bond market, as one such challenge is the low greenium, with India's greenium at 2 to 3 basic points, which is lower than the global average of 7 to 8 basic points. Liquidity issue also arises due to small issue sizes, which reduce market liquidity. And also additionally, there is a lack of institutional demand, as fewer social impact funds or responsible investing mandates exist in India. Furthermore, despite relaxed rules, foreign participation in India green bonds remains limited, resulting in primary dealers absorbing most number of bonds. So now let's get back to our question. Here the first statement says that the Green Finance Working Committee oversees the governance of India's sovereign green bonds. And the statement is true, as the Green Finance Working Committee oversees the governance of the India sovereign green bonds, ensuring that funds raised are utilized as per the guidelines. So coming to the second statement, the fossil fuel based projects including biomass from protected areas are excluded from the funding under India's sovereign green bonds. The statement is true, as we have discussed. The projects which are aimed at improving climate resilience are funded. Other than those projects like fossil fuel based projects and also nuclear power projects are excluded from the funding. So the statement 2 is also correct. And coming to the third statement, India's green bond framework has received a high green rating from CICERO. See, the statement is false, because India has received a medium green from the Central for International Climate and Environmental Research, which is a Norwegian firm. So the statement 3 is false. So here finally the option A is the correct answer, which says statement 1 and 2 are correct. Now moving on to the next question. A government initiative aims to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers, promote organic and natural farming, and reward states and union territories that successfully lower their fertilizer consumption by sharing 50% of the savings in subsidy with them. Which of the following schemes is being referred to? See, here the question is the objective of the scheme question. By identifying the objective, we need to identify the scheme here. See, now let's try to pause the video and answer this question. Recall the objectives which are related to the fertilizer and subsidies given to by the central government to the states and UTs, which reduces the use of consumption of fertilizers. So try to recall them. So now let's answer the question. The answer for this question is PM-PRANAM. See, the PM-PRANAM is a scheme which is designed to reduce the chemical fertilizer use, and it also promotes the organic farming, and the incentives are also given to states and union territories to lower the fertilizer consumption by sharing 50% of the subsidy savings. So now let's discuss about the PM-PRANAM. See, the PM-PRANAM stands for the PM Program for Restoration, Awareness Generation, Nourishment and Amelioration of Mother Earth, and received cabinet approval on 28th June 2023. The main aim of the program is to promote sustainable fertilizer use and encourage the adoption of alternatives and support the organic farming in order to protect the environment. And the key features of the scheme include a subsidy reduction where states and other union territories that reduce chemical fertilizer use such as urea and diammonium phosphate compared to the last 3 years will save on subsidies. A grant mechanism has been introduced where 50% of the savings from the reduced chemical fertilizer use will be provided back as a grant. The grant can be utilized for promoting organic farming, adopting alternative fertilizers, and also supporting sustainability initiatives. Now, coming on to the next question, consider the following statements regarding long-term capital gain tax. So here the question is asked about long-term capital gains tax. So before answering this question, let's know what long-term capital gain tax is. See, long-term capital gain tax is a tax levied on profits from selling assets such as stocks, real estate, and bonds. There are two types of capital gain tax, which are short-term capital gain tax and long-term capital gain tax. Short-term capital gain tax is a tax which is applied to gains from assets held for a short period, whereas the long-term capital gain tax is applied to gains from assets held for a specified longer period. And the holding period required for long-term capital gain tax differs based on the asset type. For instance, for listed equity shares and mutual funds, the holding period must be more than 12 months, whereas for unlisted shares and property, it must be more than 24 months. And for other assets like gold and debt funds, the holding period must exceed 36 months. And also the long-term capital gain tax rates vary as well. For listed equity and mutual funds, gains above 1.25 lakh rupees are taxed at 12.5%. And for other assets, the tax rate depends upon recent amendments to tax laws. And also the indexation is a process that adjusts the assets purchase price for inflation to calculate the real capital gains. And the formula used here is the inflation adjusted price is equals to cost inflation index of purchase year by cost inflation index of sale year into purchase price. In 2024 budget, the indexation has been removed from most assets except for properties bought before July 2024. The benefits of indexation include a reducing the tax burden by accounting for inflation, ensuring the taxes are levied based on the real gains rather than the nominal increase in assets value. So now let's get back to our question. See, in the question, the first statement says that Union Budget 2024 removed indexation benefit for all assets except for properties acquired before July 2024. And the second statement says that cost inflation index is published annually by Income Tax Department. And the third statement says that long-term capital gain tax on listed equity shares and equity-oriented mutual funds is applicable only if gains exceed 1.25 lakh. And the fourth statement says that holding period to qualify for long-term capital gain tax on immovable property is more than 12 months. And which of the statements given above are correct? See, now here looking at the first statement, they given that given budget 2020, Union Budget 20, I repeat. See, now looking at the statements, from the first statement, the Union Budget 2024 removed indexation for most assets except properties acquired before July 2024. And that statement is correct. And coming to the second statement, the cost inflation index is published by the Income Tax Department every year, which is used for adjusting long-term capital gains for inflation. And the statement is correct. And coming to the third statement, the long-term capital gain tax on listed equity shares and equity-oriented mutual funds is applicable only if gains exceed 1.25 lakhs in a financial year. And this statement is also correct. While coming to the fourth statement, we should read it carefully, as it says that holding period to qualify for long-term capital gain tax on the immovable property. They are mentioning that it is immovable property is more than 12 months. See here, as we noted it in the holding period required for long-term capital gain tax differs based on the asset type. Here the asset type is immovable property. So the holding period for long-term capital gain tax on the immovable property is more than 24 months but not 12 months. So the fourth statement is incorrect. And finally the answer is option B, statement 1, 2 and 3 only. Now coming to the next question, consider the following statements. See, the statements are given on IPEF, which is Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. So before answering this question, let's see what Indo-Pacific Economic Framework means. Here, India and the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework was launched on May 23rd, 2022 in Tokyo, Japan. The IPEF consists of 14 member countries, including India, USA, Japan, Australia and others. The framework is built around 4 main pillars, which are trade, where India holds the observer status, and supply chain resilience, in which India is actively involved, and clean economy with India's participation, and fair economy, which India also contributes to. And the supply chain resilience agreement was signed in November 2023 and is set to become effective in February 2024. The goal of this agreement is to strengthen supply chains and protect labor rights in the Indo-Pacific region. And the key outcomes of India's involvement in the agreement include its focus on resilient supply chains for national security and public health. India also advocated for skill development and workforce digitalization. Furthermore, it is highlighted its production capacity and the potential for supply diversification to strengthen the region's supply chains. Now, if we look at this table, these three are the bodies with functions and the chairpersons along with the vice chairpersons. First one is the Supply Chain Council, in which the function is to strengthen the critical sector supply chains for national security, public health and economic stability, which is chaired by the USA, and the vice chair is India. And then the next one is Crisis Response Network, which coordinates emergency responses to supply chain disruptions, which is chaired by the Republic of Korea, where the vice chair is Japan. And lastly, the Labor Rights Advisory Board, which ensures the labor rights protection and workforce development, which is chaired by USA, and the vice chair is Fiji. Now, let's get back to our question. See, in this question, it is said that India holds observer status in the trade pillar of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. And the second statement says that the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework Supply Chain Resilience Agreement came into effect in February 2024. And the third statement says that the Crisis Response Network under IPEF is chaired by India. And the fourth statement says that the Labor Rights Advisory Board is chaired by the USA. Here we need to observe carefully that you might get confused in between the chairperson and the vice chairperson and in between the bodies. So now here, if you look at the first statement, it is correct that India holds the observer status in trade pillar of an Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, as we discussed it before. So statement 1 is correct. And coming to the second statement, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework Supply Chain Resilience Agreement came into effect in February 2024, and the statement is true. Now, the third statement is incorrect because the India does not chair the Crisis Response Network under Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. So here, the statement 3 is incorrect. While coming to the fourth statement, it is true that USA chairs the Labor Rights Advisory Board. So the correct answer for this question is option C, which is statement 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Now coming to the next question. See, question is given on the same topic of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. See, the question is, India was recently elected as the vice chair of which of the following supply chain bodies under the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for the prosperity? So as we have discussed earlier, India elected as a vice chair in Supply Chain Council of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Now let's move on to the next question. See, the next question is given on India's Act East policy. So now let's discuss what is India's Act East policy. India's Act East policy was launched in 2014 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to enhance India's ties with Southeast Asia and the Indo-Pacific region. The focus of the policy is on strengthening economic, cultural, and strategic relationships in the region. And the objectives of the Act East policy include economic partnerships, which are aimed at boosting trade and investment, cultural ties to strengthen people to people relations, and also the diplomatic engagements to build long-term strategic partnerships and regional cooperation to enhance political, cultural, and social integration and security cooperation to collaborate on counter-terrorism efforts and maritime security. And the pillars of the policy include economic, socio-culture, and political security, in which the economic focuses on trade, investment, and supply chain integration, whereas the socio-culture focuses on promoting cultural exchanges and people-to-people ties, and the political security is aimed at strengthening defense collaboration. Now, the key features of a policy include the ASEAN-centric approach, focusing on the ASEAN nations and frameworks, and the 4 C's, which are culture, commerce, connectivity, and capacity building. Additionally, the policy emphasizes strategic ties, particularly in defense, with countries such as Japan, Vietnam, and Philippines, along with the connectivity projects, including the India-Myanmar-Thailand Highway and the Kaladan project. So, these are some key projects which comes under the Act East policy, which include India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway, which enhances the road connectivity, and Kaladan Multimodal Project, which connects India's eastern ports with Myanmar, and Agartala-Akhaura Rail Link, which boosts cross-border connectivity with Bangladesh, and Mekong India Economic Corridor, linking India with Southeast Asia, and ITEC program, which provides the technical support for Southeast Asia, and also International Buddhist Confederation, promoting cultural ties through shared Buddhist heritage. So, by keeping these points in mind, let's go to our question. With reference to India's Act East policy, consider the following statements. It was launched in 2014 as an upgrade to Look East policy. So here statement 1 is correct, as the Act East policy was launched in 2014, upgrading the earlier Look East policy to focus more on the Asia-Pacific integration. And coming to the next statement, the policy primarily focuses on economic integration with Western Asian countries. The statement is incorrect because the policy focuses primarily on economic integration with Southeast Asian and East Asian countries, not the Western Asia. And coming to the third statement, the India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway is a key project under the policy. See, third statement is correct as it is the most primary project under this policy. And if you look at the third statement, it follows a 4 C's framework: culture, commerce, connectivity, and capacity building. And the fourth statement is also correct as it follows the 4 C's framework. So the final answer is option B. 1, 3, 4 are correct, as second statement is incorrect. Now, moving on to the next question. Which of the following states best describes the India-Japan 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial meeting? So here the question is asked about India-Japan 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial meeting. So before answering this question, now let's dive into the topic. So recently, third India-Japan 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial meeting was held in 2024 on August 20th in New Delhi. The meeting saw the participation of India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, along with Japan's Foreign Minister Kamikawa Yoko and Defense Minister Kihara Munro. The objective of the meeting was to strengthen strategic and security cooperation as a part of the India-Japan Special Strategic and Global Partnership. And the focus areas of the meeting include defense cooperation, which particularly in joint exercises and collaboration on defense technologies, and also Indo-Pacific security, ensuring maritime security and upholding the freedom of navigation, and also the China assertiveness, addressing the China's growing military presence and promoting a collective response based on the international law. And the significance of the meeting lies in its comprehensive engagement, covering both diplomatic and defense matters. It also underscores the strategic alignment with India and Japan, strengthening their cooperation in regional and global security. Moreover, the meeting emphasized the importance of ensuring stability and security in the Indo-Pacific region, which is crucial for global trade and peace. So now let's get back to our question. Which of the following statements best describes the India-Japan 2+2 foreign and defense ministerial meeting? So here, first option is, it is a summit on trade and economic cooperation between India and Japan. And the second option is, the meeting focuses on strengthening military ties and maritime security in the Indo-Pacific region. And the third option is it is a summit involving India, USA, Japan, and Australia on climate change. And the fourth option is the meeting is about space exploration between India and Japan. Now, try to pause the video and answer the question. Now let's answer this question. And the correct answer is option B. The meeting focuses on strengthening military ties and maritime security in Indo-Pacific region. So, now moving on to the next question. With reference to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which of the following statements are correct? So, here the question is asked about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So before answering this question, let's know what is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. See, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization was founded on 15th June 2001 in Shanghai, China. The initial members included China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. India and Pakistan became permanent members in 2017, bringing the current membership to 8 countries, which includes China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Pakistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. So, looking at the objectives, the main objectives of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are to strengthen mutual trust and cooperation among member countries, and also to promote political, trade, economic, and cultural collaboration. And here to ensure peace, security, and stability in the region, and also to foster a fair and rational international order. And the structure of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization includes the heads of state councils, in short HSC, which is the supreme decision-making body that meets once a year, and the SCO Secretariat, which handles administrative work and is based in Beijing, and the regional anti-terrorist structure, which focuses on combating terrorism, separatism, and extremism, and is based in Tashkent. The official language of the SCO are Chinese and Russian. So, after discussing all these points, now let's get back into our question. With reference to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which of the following statements is or are correct? So, India and Pakistan joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in the same year. And the second statement says that the SCO's founding members include countries like Kazakhstan and Tajikistan. And the headquarters of the SCO Secretariat is located in Tashkent of Uzbekistan. So select the correct answer using the code given below. So for statement 1, India and Pakistan joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in the year which is 2017. They both joined in the same year. So statement 1 is correct. And coming to the second statement, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization founding members include countries like Kazakhstan and Tajikistan, which is the correct statement. And coming to the third statement, the headquarters of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Secretariat is located in Tashkent of Uzbekistan. So this is the wrong statement as they are located in Beijing, China, not Tashkent in Uzbekistan, whereas RATS, which is Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure, is located in Tashkent. Now, coming to the next question. With reference to lithium exploration in India, consider the following statements. So here, the question is about the lithium reserves in India. So now let's know about it. The lithium exploration in India is gaining importance due to its key uses in rechargeable batteries, such as those for electric vehicles and phones, and non-rechargeable batteries like those of pacemakers and toys. The country has identified several major reserves of lithium, including Jammu and Kashmir, where 5.9 million tons of lithium have been discovered in Riyasi district, and also Rajasthan, which holds larger reserves than Jammu and Kashmir, potentially meeting 80% of India's lithium demand. And then comes the Karnataka, where 1600 tons have been located in Mandya district, currently at the G3 stage, with ongoing exploration in Yadgir. In addition, other potential areas for lithium exploration include the Mica and pegmatite belts in Rajasthan, Bihar, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh and Kerala. And also the uranium discovery in Himachal Pradesh has also brought attention to India's growing interest in nuclear energy. Surface uranium has been found in Masanbal, Hamirpur district. However, there are currently no plans for nuclear power plants in the state. And then comes the small modular reactors. In small modular reactors in India are under study. Though the country does not have any foreign collaboration in this area, However, nuclear cooperation with Russia is progressing, with both countries showing mutual interest in expanding the cooperation in nuclear energy, including the development of small modular reactors. So, now let's get back into our question. With reference to the lithium exploration in India, consider the following statements. First ever lithium reserves discovered in Mandya district of Karnataka, which is a wrong statement, as the first ever lithium was discovered in Jammu and Kashmir of Riyasi district. And the second statement says that lithium reserves in Rajasthan are estimated to be larger than those in the Jammu Kashmir. Yeah, the statement is correct, as the lithium reserves in Rajasthan are larger than those that of in Jammu and Kashmir. And coming to the third statement, Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research operates under the Ministry of Mines. So here the statement is incorrect, as the Atomic Minerals Directorate for Exploration and Research operates under the Department of Atomic Energy but not the Ministry of Mines. You need to remember it. It works under the Department of Atomic Energy but not the Ministry of Mines. Now coming to the fourth statement, Korba district of Chhattisgarh is being explored for potential lithium deposits. And this statement is correct, as lithium explorations are taking place in Korba district of Chhattisgarh. So here the final answer is option B, in which statement 2 and 4 are correct. So now coming to the next question, with reference to India's renewable energy sector, consider the following statements. So here the question is asked about the India's renewable energy sector. So before answering this question, let's know some key facts about the renewable energy sector in India. So in India's renewable energy share accounts for 43.12% of its total installed capacity, and the country ranks 4th globally in total renewable energy capacity and 4th in wind power with 46.65 gigawatts and 5th in the solar power with 85.47 gigawatts. India non-fossil fuel capacity has surpassed 200 gigawatts, with solar contribution 85.47 gigawatts, wind adding 46.66 gigawatts, hydro at 46.93 gigawatts, and bioenergy providing 10.95 gigawatts. Looking towards the future, India has set an ambitious targets for 2030, including achieving 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel capacity and ensuring 50% of its total energy comes from the renewable resources. These targets are significant, as they will help reduce greenhouse emissions, enhance energy security, provide universal energy access, and create jobs in this sector. However, the country faces several challenges such as high costs, the need for large infrastructure, and land acquisition issues, along with the fluctuations in renewable energy sources due to weather dependence. For instance, solar energy is impacted by heat waves, and there is an ongoing dependence on China for photovoltaic modules. Similarly, wind energy suffers from skill gaps and infrastructure challenges, while hydropower faces challenges due to declining rainfall and socio-environmental issues. Moreover, biomass energy struggles with issues related to feedstock supply and trading platforms. To address these hurdles, the government has launched several initiatives, including allowing 100% FDI in renewable projects to attract the foreign investments, and the PM-SHRI initiative with a fund of 75,021 crores aims to install rooftop solar systems in 1 crore households, and the Green Energy Corridor project focuses on transmission of infrastructure, while the solar park scheme provides essential infrastructure and clearances for solar developers. Additionally, the National Green Hydrogen Mission, which targets 5 MMT of green hydrogen by 2030, further underscores India's commitment to achieving its renewable energy goals. So, now let's get back to our question. See, with reference to India's renewable energy sector, consider the following statements. Here the first statement says that India's total installed renewable energy capacity has crossed 200 gigawatts. So the statement is correct. As we have discussed, the India's renewable energy has crossed 200 gigawatts as of the February 2025 recently. And coming to the second statement, India ranks 5th globally in total installed renewable energy capacity. And the statement is correct, as India ranks 5th in globally total installed renewable energy capacity. And the third statement says that National Green Hydrogen Mission aims to produce 5 million metric tons of green hydrogen by 2025. This statement is incorrect. Actually, the Green Hydrogen Mission aims to achieve a production of capacity 5 million metric tons of green hydrogen per annum by the year 2030, but not by 2025. So here you should also remember some years for conceptual data and also the terminologies to understand more, like MMT is a million metric tons and like that. So coming to the next statement, India aims to meet 50% of its total energy requirements through renewable energy by 2030. So this statement is correct, as India aims to meet 50% of its total energy requirements through renewable energy by 2030. So now let's get into the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Wainganga-Nalganga river linking project. So here the question is asked about the river linking project. So before answering this question, now let's know about the river linking project. The National River Linking Project aims to link surplus rivers to those facing water scarcity, ensuring better distribution of water across the India. The project, initiated under the National Perspective Plan, and its implementation is managed by the National Water Development Agency. It involves linking of 30 identified river systems, with 16 in the peninsular region and 14 in the Himalayan region. The Ken-Betwa link, approved in 2021, is the first one of these projects to move forward. And then the National River Linking Project offers several benefits, such as irrigation potential for 35 million hectares, hydropower generation with a potential of 34,000 megawatts, and enhanced water security for about 600 million people. Additionally, it can boost inland waterways, promoting transportation via canals, and help in disaster management by mitigating droughts and floods. The project is also expected to create employment opportunities, support the growth of service sector, and ensure safe drinking water for many people. However, the project faces several challenges, and one of the major issues is the interstate water disputes, such as those surrounding the Kaveri River. There are also concerns regarding the environmental impact, particularly disruptions to water cycles and biodiversity, with the Ken-Betwa link affecting the Panna Tiger Reserve. Moreover, the project would lead to displacement, particularly in tribal areas, and might raise international concerns with neighboring countries. High costs, both for infrastructure and maintenance, are also a significant obstacle here. In response, the government has taken several steps to push this project forward, including formation of a task force in 2015 to oversee river interlinking and setting up various committees to evaluate reports, restructure National Water Development Agency, and develop funding strategies. Funding is provided through NABARD and the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. The Supreme Court has emphasized the need for speed implementation, particularly for the benefits of water security and the irrigations. So now let's get back to our question. So here, consider the following statements regarding the Wainganga and Nalganga river linking project. So here, the statement says that it aims to redirect water from the Wainganga river to Nalganga project. And the second statement says that it is India's first interlinking river project approved under the National River Linking Project. Which one of the statements or which of the above statements are correct? See, here statement 1 is correct, as the Wainganga and Nalganga river linking project aims to redirect water from Wainganga river to the Nalganga project. Coming to the second statement, it is India's first interlinking river project approved under the National River Linking Project. So this statement is incorrect, as it is not the first project approved under this. So Ken-Betwa is the first project which was approved in 2021. Remember these points. So moving on to the next question, consider the following statements regarding the importance of mangroves. So here the topic is about the mangroves. So before answering this question, let's get to know what are mangroves and how they are useful for ecosystem. See, mangroves are coastal ecosystems found in tropical and subtropical regions characterized by salt-tolerant plants. They thrive in salt marshes, tidal creeks, and estuaries, providing both environmental and socio-economic benefits. Globally, Southeast Asia houses 1/3 of the world's mangroves, with Indonesia contributing 21%. Western Central Africa also have a significant mangrove presence, while in India, West Bengal holds the largest mangrove cover. Mangroves offer numerous environmental benefits. They are biodiversity hotspots, supporting over 700 species in Indian mangroves alone. They are also excellent for carbon sequestration, storing approximately 394 tons of carbon per hectare. Mangroves act as natural coastal protectors, reducing flood damage and shielding shorelines from storms and erosion. Moreover, they play a key role in improving water quality by filtering pollutants and support fisheries by providing nutrient-rich habitats for fish and other seafood species. Despite their importance, mangroves face several threats. Climate change leads to rising sea levels and more intense storms, which put these ecosystems at risk. Industrial shrimp farming is another major threat as it destroys mangrove forests along coastal areas. Additionally, agriculture conversion, particularly for oil palm and rice farming, has caused 43% loss of mangroves between 2000 and 2020. Some regions like Lakshadweep and Tamil Nadu face critically endangered mangrove ecosystems. In response, the Indian government has launched initiatives like MSHRI, aimed at restoring mangroves along the country's coastlines, and SIMI, which promotes sustainable aquaculture in mangrove ecosystems. On the global stage, efforts like Mangrove Breakthrough and Mangrove Alliance for Climate, led by UAE and Indonesia, aim to conserve and restore mangroves to mitigate climate change. So, now let's get back to our question. See, consider the following statements regarding the importance of mangroves. And the first statement is, mangroves help in carbon sequestration by storing large amounts of carbon. And the second statement says that they protect coastal areas by reducing flood depths and preventing erosion. And the third statement says that mangrove forests are primarily found in temperate coastal regions. So which of the statements given above are correct? So here, looking at the first statement, mangroves help in carbon sequestration by storing large amounts of carbon. Yes, this statement is correct as mangroves plays a key role in carbon sequestration, absorbing large amounts of carbon from the atmosphere. And coming to the second statement, they protect coastal areas by reducing flood depths and preventing erosion. Yeah, this statement is also correct as mangroves act as a natural barriers, protecting coastal regions by reducing flood depths and preventing erosion. And coming to the third statement, mangrove forests are primarily found in temperate coastal regions. Here, this statement is false as the mangrove forests are not found in temperate regions but in tropical and subtropical coastal regions. Now, coming to the next question. And now there is another question on mangrove itself. And the statements are, they are found in coastal regions only. And the second statement says that mangrove ecosystems are home to over 5,700 species of plants and animals in India alone. Industrial shrimp aquaculture is one of the leading threats to mangrove ecosystems in India. And finally, MSHRI focuses on the restoration of mangroves along India's coastline. Which of the above statements are correct? So here, coming to the statements, first one, they are found in coastal regions only. So this statement is incorrect. While mangroves are predominantly found in coastal region, but they can also thrive in estuarine and brackish water environments, not strictly limited to coastlines. So the first statement is incorrect. So coming to the second statement, mangrove ecosystems are home to over 5,700 species of plants and animals in India alone. So this statement is correct as the mangroves support rich biodiversity, providing habitat for thousands of species including plants, animals and microorganisms, and mangrove ecosystems are home to over 5,700 species of plants and animals in India alone. And coming to the third statement, industrial shrimp aquaculture is one of the leading threats to mangrove ecosystems in India. Yeah, this statement is correct as industrial shrimp farming has led to significant destruction of mangrove forests as these areas are often cleared for aquaculture ponds. And coming to the fourth statement, MSHRI focuses on the restoration of mangroves along India's coastline. And this statement is correct as MSHRI, which is Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitats and Tangible Incomes, program aims to restore and conserve mangroves along India's coastline, enhancing their ecological and economic benefits. And there is another question on mangroves, which goes, the 2004 tsunami made people realize that mangroves can serve as a reliable safety hedge against coastal calamities. How do mangroves function as a safety hedge? So here the options are, the mangrove swamps separate human settlements from the sea by a wide zone in which people neither live nor venture out. And the second option says that the mangroves provide both food and medicines which people are in need of after any natural disaster. And the third option is, the mangrove trees are tall with dense canopies and serve as an excellent shelter during a cyclone or tsunami. And the fourth option is, the mangrove trees do not get uprooted by storms and tides because of their extensive roots. So here the first option is incorrect because while mangroves act as natural barrier, human settlements do exist near them, particularly in Sundarbans region and other coastal areas. People venture into mangrove forest for fishing and resources, and notably Sundarbans region is in the West Bengal of India. And coming to the second option, it is also incorrect as mangroves indeed provide food and medicinal resources, but this is not their primary function as safety hedge against natural disasters. And thirdly, the third statement is also incorrect as mangrove trees are not particularly tall, but their dense network of roots play a major role in protecting coastal region from erosion and tidal surges. And finally, the fourth statement is correct as the extensive root system of mangroves act as a natural barrier against cyclones, tsunamis, and storm surges. They absorb wave energy and reduce the impact of coastal disasters, making them a critical defense against coastal erosion and flooding. So here, mangroves are also salt-tolerant trees that you need to notice that grow in coastal intertidal zones, and their complex root system stabilizes the coastline and they reduces the erosion, protects against the storm surges. And during 2004 Indian tsunami, it is notably that coastal areas with dense mangrove cover suffered less damage compared to those without. And countries like India, Indonesia, and Thailand have recognized the role of mangroves in disaster mitigation and have taken steps to restore and protect the mangrove forests. Now, moving on to the next question. The question is in assertion and reasoning format. So here the question is asked about the atmospheric rivers. See, now let's discuss about the atmospheric rivers. Atmospheric rivers are narrow bands of moisture-laden air that transports water from tropical regions to higher latitudes. So here I repeat the sentence again. The atmospheric rivers are narrow bands of moisture-laden air that transport water vapor from tropical regions to higher latitudes, and these weather systems are typically associated with maritime tropical air and play a significant role in the global water cycle. They are essential for replenishing water resources and especially in drought-prone areas such as the western United States and contribute to the hydrological cycle, benefiting ecosystems and agriculture. However, atmospheric rivers also pose a flood risk as they can bring heavy rainfall that may lead to severe flooding. There are 5 main categories of atmospheric rivers based on their intensity. The category 1 is weak, which represents mild storms with short rainfall that can be beneficial, while category 2, moderate, brings moderate storms with some hazards. And the category 3, which is strong, delivers heavy rain that helps replenish reservoirs but increases the flood risks. And category 4, which is extreme and are hazardous and can cause significant flooding, while category 5, which is exceptional, represents the most severe events which can cause major damage such as the 1996-1997 California storms. And the impact of atmospheric rivers are a mix of positive and negative outcomes. On the positive side, they help to replenish water supplies and alleviating drought conditions. However, they can also cause significant negative impacts such as flooding and landslides. Atmospheric rivers occurs globally in regions like US, UK, China and Norway and contribute to 17% of storms in United States, playing a critical role in California's precipitation. And forecasting of atmospheric rivers is possible up to a week in advance, which is crucial for effective flood planning and water management. This forecasting ability helps mitigate the risks posed by these extreme weather events. So now let's get back to the question. And here the assertion is atmospheric rivers contribute significantly to global precipitation patterns. And the reason they have provided is they transport large amounts of water vapor from equatorial regions and release it as heavy precipitation in mid-latitudes. So in this context of the above statements, which of the following is correct? So now let's briefly look at the assertion and reasoning. Here assertion is true because the atmospheric rivers significantly contribute to global precipitation patterns by transporting moisture from tropical regions. And while looking at the reason, it is given that atmospheric rivers transport a large amount of water vapor from equatorial regions and release it as a heavy precipitation in mid-latitudes, which is true because the atmospheric rivers transport large amount of water vapor from equatorial regions and release it as a heavy precipitation in mid-latitudes. explaining their contribution to the global precipitation patterns. So here option A is correct, where both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. And now coming to the next question. Here, consider the following statements regarding India's EV policy. So the question is asked on India's EV policy. So now let's discuss about India's EV policy. India's electric vehicle policy is designed to accelerate the growth of the domestic EV sector and attract global investments. The government aims to promote local production while offering retrospective benefits for past investments in the sector. And this revised policy reflects India's ambition to become the third largest automotive market globally, transitioning from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles. And the key aspects of the recent March EV policy include encouraging global manufacturers to localize production and transfer technology to India, which help boost domestic value addition. The policy mandates that 50% of the value in EV manufacturing must be sourced domestically within 5 years. Additionally, the import duty on EVs costing over $35,000 have been reduced significantly from 70% to 100% to 15%, making EVs more affordable in India. And the policy also highlights the need for investments and ecosystem development to make EV adoption more widespread, reducing total cost of ownership and addressing structural cost disadvantages is crucial. Here, reducing the total cost of ownership and addressing structural cost disadvantages is crucial to widespread the EV adoption. And capital investment in setting up battery production plants is estimated to range from $200 to $500 million, which will help make India competitive on a global scale. Furthermore, improving after-sales service infrastructure, especially for two-wheeler EVs, is vital for sustaining growth in the sector. The Indian EV market presents a $100 billion opportunity, but requires substantial investments in competitive strategies and manufacturing capabilities. However, India faces several challenges such as global competition from the markets like US, China and Europe. Despite the push for EV adoption, EV remains 10 to 50% more expensive than combustion engine vehicles. To address these challenges, reducing production cost and achieving efficient manufacturing processes will be crucial for accelerating the transition to electric mobility. So now let's get back to our question. Consider the following statements regarding India's EV policy. The first statement is, it mandates that at least 50% of EVs manufacturing must be done domestically. And the second option says that import duties on EVs priced above $35,000 have been reduced to 15% from the earlier 70% to 100%. And the third option says that policy applies only to personal EVs and excludes commercial electric vehicles. And the fourth option says that India aims to become the third largest automotive market through this policy. So which of the above statements are correct? So here, coming to the first statement, it is correct that India's EV policy encourages domestic manufacturing with a focus on local production of electric vehicles, which makes the statement 1 correct. And the second statement is also correct, as the import duties on EV priced above $35,000 have been significantly reduced from 70%, 100% to 15% to encourage the EV adoption. And statement 3 is incorrect, as this policy applies both to personal and commercial EVs, aiming to boost overall adoption of electric vehicles. And the fourth option is also correct, as one of the objectives of the EV policy is for India to become the third largest automotive market in the world. So here the correct option is option A, which is statement 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Now coming to the next question. You are a scientist in a futuristic India developing a clean energy source. The government is funding your coal gasification project. So which of the following secret ingredients do you need to turn your coal into syngas? So this question is on coal gasification. So now let's know about the coal gasification in detail. Coal gasification is a process that converts coal into syngas, a mixture of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, methane and water vapor. This conversion occurs by reacting coal with water, air and or by oxygen at high pressures inside a gasifier. Syngas has various applications, including electricity generation, powering efficiency, fuel cells, serving as a feedstock for chemical production, and even aiding in hydrogen extraction. And one of the key benefits of coal gasification is that it offers a cleaner alternative to traditional coal burning as it produces less pollution. By reducing harmful emissions, it supports efforts to lower carbon emissions and contribute to a greener, more sustainable energy future. Additionally, coal gasification decreases reliance on imported natural gas and other products, enhancing energy security. Moreover, it provides a more eco-friendly option than conventional coal combustion, making it an attractive technology for achieving more sustainable energy practices. So now let's get back to a question. So here the question is a conceptual question which is situational based, which tests your in-depth knowledge. So here the question goes: you are a scientist in a futuristic India developing a clean energy source that the government is funding your coal gasification project. Which of the following secret ingredients do you need to turn your coal into syngas? Option A is water, air, and high temperature. And option B is sugar, salt, and baking soda. And option C is wind, sun, and rain. Option D is oil, petrol, and diesel. As we have discussed earlier, water, air, and high temperature are required for coal gasification process, and coal is converted into syngas by reacting it with water and air at high temperatures. This process helps in producing gases like carbon monoxide, hydrogen, which can be used for clean energy generation. Now moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding Project Tiger. So here the question is given on the concept Project Tiger. So now let's first discuss about Project Tiger. Project Tiger, launched in 1973 by the Government of India under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, aims to conserve tigers, protect their habitats, and increase their population. The project focuses on preventing the extinction of tigers through establishment of tiger reserves, anti-poaching measures, ecological restoration, and raising community awareness about the conservation effects. And the key objectives of the project are to conserve tiger populations and their habitats, promote growth in tiger numbers across India. And it also encourages ecotourism to provide sustainable livelihoods for local communities and maintain the ecological balance by ensuring the tiger's role as an apex predator. And the project was initiated in 1973 at Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, following the enactment of Wildlife Protection Act in 1972. Initially, there was 9 reserves, but by 2024, this number has expanded to 57. The success of this project is evident in growth of the tiger population, which increased by 30% from 2010 to 2014. And the administration of the program falls under the National Tiger Conservation Authority, which was established in 2003 following recommendations from the Tiger Task Force. The NTCA oversees various conservation units spread across the country, including such regions such Sundarbans, Northeast, Western Ghats, Shivalik Terrace, and Central India. As of December 2024, there are 57 tiger reserves in India, with the Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve in Andhra Pradesh being the largest and Orang Tiger Reserve in Assam being the smallest. Some newly added tiger reserves include the Veerganga Durgavati Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh and Dholpur Karauli Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, which were established in 2023, along with Guru Ghasidas Tamor Pingla Tiger Reserves in Chhattisgarh and Ratapani Tiger Reserves in Madhya Pradesh. Both added in 2024, these reserves plays a crucial role in preservation of tigers for India's tiger population and their habitats. Now, coming back to our question, consider the following statements regarding Project Tiger. And the first statement is, Project Tiger was launched under the leadership of Indira Gandhi. And the second statement says that National Tiger Conservation Authority was established in 2003 and Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve is the largest tiger reserve in India. And last statement is, Wildlife Protection Act of 1986 provided the legal basis for establishment of the Project Tiger. So which of the above statements are correct? So here, the first statement is correct, as Project Tiger was launched in 1973 by Indira Gandhi. And then the second statement is also correct, as the National Tiger Conservation Authority was established in 2003 for the management and conservation of tigers. And coming to the statement 3, the statement 3 is also correct, as Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve is indeed the largest tiger reserve in India, While coming to statement number 4, it is incorrect as the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 provides the legal basis for the establishment of Project Tiger, but not the Wildlife Protection Act of 1986. And now let's move to the next question. See, next question is also on the tiger reserves, which shows in a tabular form. So here are the tiger reserves and the state. Now match the tiger reserves according to their state. So here they have given Corbett, Bandipur, Ranthambore, Simlipal and Kanha. So here the Corbett Tiger Reserve is located in Uttarakhand and Bandipur Tiger Reserve is in Karnataka. Ranthambore Tiger Reserve is located in Rajasthan and Simlipal Tiger Reserve is in Odisha and Kanha Tiger Reserve is situated in Madhya Pradesh. So these are the important questions to notice, as they may also ask the geographical features giving the tiger reserve names. And moving on to the next question. The next question is a PYQ on the Project Tiger. So among the following tiger reserves, which one has the largest area under critical tiger habitat? So the options are Corbett, Ranthambore, Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve and Sundarbans. So here first discuss about what the critical tiger habitat means. See, critical tiger habitat is the core area of tiger reserve which is designated under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, where human activities are strictly regulated for tiger conservation. So which of these tiger reserves are critical tiger habitats? So looking at the option number 1, it is Corbett Tiger Reserve. So this is incorrect, as Corbett, located in Uttarakhand, is one of the oldest tiger reserves in India, but it does not have the largest critical tiger habitat in terms of the area. And the second option is Ranthambore, which is also incorrect, as it is located in Rajasthan. It is well known for tiger conservation but has smaller critical tiger habitat compared to other Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam. And coming to the third option, Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve, which is the correct option for this question. This tiger reserve, located in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, is the largest in India in terms of area and has the largest critical tiger habitat. And obviously the fourth option is incorrect. So here the tiger reserve, which is located in Nallamalla forest range, is Nagarjuna Sagar Srisailam Tiger Reserve, providing a vast and undisturbed habitat for the tigers. And it also plays a crucial role in Project Tiger, which was launched in 1973 for tiger conservation. Now moving on to the next question. The next question is also a PYQ, and the next question is like, which of the following protected areas are located in the Kaveri Basin? So the first option is Nagarhole National Park and Papikonda National Park, Satyamangalam National Park, Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. So coming to the first one, Nagarhole National Park, this is the park which is part of Nilgiri Biosphere and lies within the Kaveri River Basin. It is important to note that habitat for tigers and elephants. And also Papikonda National Park, which is incorrect, because Papikonda National Park is located in the Godavari River Basin, not the Kaveri Basin. So it is known for its dense tropical rainforest. And coming to the third one, Satyamangalam National Park. So this is the correct, because this reserve located in the Western Ghats and is the part of Kaveri Basin and serves as a crucial corridor between the Mudumalai and Bandipur tiger reserves. And lastly, Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. So Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary is within the Kaveri Basin and forms a part of the Nilgiri Biosphere. So here the final answer is option C, which is the Nagarhole National Park and Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve and Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary are the protected areas which are located in Kaveri River Basin. And the Kaveri River Basin covers the major parts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. Several important protected areas lie within this basin, including Nagarhole, Bandipur, Wayanad, Satyamangalam and Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary. The Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, which includes these parks, play a critical role in the conservation of tigers, elephants and other wildlife. These are the most important points to be noted. So now let's move on to the next question. So here the next question is, which ministry launched the Kasturi Cotton Bharat program to promote traceability certification and branding of Indian cotton? So here the main aspect to discuss is the Kasturi Cotton. So now first let's discuss about the Kasturi Cotton. Kasturi Cotton Bharat program is an initiative launched by the Ministry of Textiles to promote the traceability, certification and branding of Indian cotton. And it uses the advanced technologies like blockchain and QR codes. This program ensures transparency and authenticity in the cotton supply chain, helping to strengthen the global reputation of Indian cotton. This program is a joint effort between Government of India, trade bodies and the cotton industry, with a budget of 30 crore rupees allotted to support its implementation. One of the key features of the program is the integration of technology, particularly QR codes and blockchain, which provides secure and verifiable certification for each bale of cotton. This allows for effective traceability from farm to final product, ensuring consumers of its authenticity. The Kasturi Cotton Bharat program not only focuses on the national promotion of Indian cotton, but also aims to enhance its presence in global markets. By positioning Indian cotton as a premium product, it strives to boost the export potential of Indian cotton. The program also empowers local ginners with 343 modernized ginning units participating, including 15 units from Andhra Pradesh. These units are producing certified cotton under the Kasturi Cotton brand, contributing to the economic upliftment of cotton producing regions. In addition, the program promotes sustainability by ensuring quality and ethical sourcing of cotton. It also encourages the use of technology in agriculture, offering an innovative model for the integration of modern practices in the cotton industry. By supporting local ginners and cotton producers, the program plays a significant role in boosting economic growth in cotton producing state across the India. So now let's get back to our question. Here, the question is like, which ministry launched the Kasturi Cotton Bharat program to promote traceability certification and branding of Indian cotton? The first itself we have discussed about it, and the answer is the Ministry of Textiles, option C. So the Ministry of Textiles launched the Kasturi Cotton Bharat program to enhance the traceability, certification and branding of Indian cotton to improve its international competitiveness and value chain. Now, moving on to the next question. The Clean Plant program, recently approved by the Union Cabinet, aims to provide virus-free, high-quality planting material under which machine? So, the question is asked about the Clean Plant program. So, now let's discuss about Clean Plant program. See, it is an initiative aimed at enhancing India's horticulture sector by providing virus-free, high-quality planting material, thereby improving sustainability and reducing the country's reliance on imported plants. With a budget of 1,765.67 crore, the program is being implemented by the National Horticulture Board and ICA. One of the key features of the Clean Plant program is the establishment of Clean Plant centers across India. A total of 9 centers will be set up to provide virus-free planting material for a variety of fruits such as grapes, citrus, mango and pomegranate. This initiative will not only improve the quality of horticulture procedure, but also ensure that farmers have access to healthy and disease-free plants for cultivation. And the program offers several key benefits. Farmers will have access to high-quality planting material, which will result in better yields and ultimately higher income. Nurseries will benefit from the support in efficient propagation and certification processes. Consumers will enjoy virus-free, higher quality fruits with enhanced taste and nutritional values. Additionally, the program aims to boost exports by ensuring that the fruits produced are free from diseases, thereby meeting international quality standards. The Clean Plant program also emphasizes inclusivity and sustainability. It provides affordable access to planting material for all the farmers, including women farmers too. The program focuses on providing region-specific plants that are suited to different climatic conditions, contributing to the local agriculture ecosystem. Moreover, it also aligns with eco-friendly agriculture practices and supports initiatives like Mission Life, One Health, promoting a holistic approach to sustainable farming. In terms of impact, the Clean Plant program is accepted to significantly enhance India's horticulture productivity and export potential by reducing disease losses and minimizing reliance on imported plant material. It will also promote sustainable farming practices, contributing to the long-term growth of the horticulture sector in India. So now let's get back to a question. And the Clean Plant program, recently approved by the Union Cabinet, aims to provide virus-free, high-quality planting material under which machine? So here the options are Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, National Horticulture Mission, and Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana and Parampagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. So here the correct answer is option A, which is Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. The Clean Plant program, recently approved by the Union Government, is a significant initiative under the Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. It focuses on providing virus-free, high-quality planting material to enhance the productivity and quality of horticulture crops in India. And now moving on to the next question. The question is also on the Clean Plant program again. Consider the following statements regarding the Clean Plant program. And the statements are, Clean Plant program aims to provide virus-free planting material and it is aligned with Mission Life, and CPP will also provide financial support for establishment of large-scale nurseries, and Clean Plant program will focus on fruit crops like mango, guava, lychee and pomegranate. So which of the above statements are correct? So here the answer is all of the above, because statement 1 is correct, where the Clean Plant program aims to provide virus-free planting material to ensure the best crop yields. And statement 2 is also correct, as CPP is aligned with the mission lifestyle for environment to promote sustainable agriculture practices. And statement 3 is also correct, because the program will provide financial support for the establishment of large-scale nurseries to propagate clean planting material. And also CPC will focus on fruits like mango, guava, lychee and pomegranate. So here the correct answer is option D. So now moving on to the next question. The next question is of, consider the following statements regarding Ramsar sites in India. So this question is asked about the Ramsar sites in India, which are also called as wetlands. So now let's discuss about the Ramsar sites. See, what are Ramsar sites? Ramsar sites are wetlands designated as wetlands of international importance under the Ramsar Convention signed in 1971 in Ramsar, Iran. These sites are crucial for their ecological, botanical and hydrological benefits, supporting a wide range of biodiversity and providing essential services like water purification and flood regulation. As of 2024, India boasts 85 Ramsar sites covering a total area of 13,58,068 hectares. This designation ensures international recognition and a commitment to conservation of sustainable management of these unique ecosystems. And why are Ramsar sites important and why they are? The term Ramsar sites comes from the Ramsar Convention, which was the first international treaty focused on environmental conservation, particularly suitable to wetland use. The convention's primary aim is to ensure the conservation and sustainable utilization of wetlands worldwide. India joined the Ramsar Convention in 1982, and globally there are over 2,300 Ramsar sites covering 2.5 million square kilometers, and some of the largest Ramsar sites are Giri Tumba Mainbo in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Queen Mawad Gulf in Canada. The countries with the most Ramsar sites include the United Kingdom with 175 and Mexico with 142. And looking at the significance of Ramsar sites are of great ecological importance, and their designation under the Ramsar Convention underscores their role in international recognition, which highlights their ecological and environmental value, and also the conservation commitment in which the governments must take active steps to protect and maintain these sites, and also biodiversity protection. Many Ramsar sites are home to diverse species, especially waterbirds and aquatic life, and sustainable use. These sites promote the wise use of natural resources to maintain ecosystem balance and funding support. Ramsar sites are eligible for international financial assistance to support their conservation efforts. And India's latest Ramsar sites as of 2024 are, India adds several new Ramsar sites to its list, further strengthening its commitment to wetland conservation. And these include Nanjarayan Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu with 125.87 hectares and Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu with 5,151.6 hectares and Tawa Reservoir in Madhya Pradesh with 20,050 hectares. These additions reflects India's ongoing efforts to safeguard its diverse and invaluable wetland ecosystems, contributing to global biodiversity preservation and sustainable of environmental management. So now let's get back to our question. See, consider the following statements regarding the Ramsar sites in India. Coming to the first statement, India has 85 Ramsar sites as of 2024, covering area of 13 lakh hectares. And the second statement is, Ramsar Convention was signed in 1971 in Ramsar, Iran. And the third statement is, latest Ramsar sites designated in 2024 is Tawa Reservoir in Madhya Pradesh. And the fourth statement is, Ramsar Convention is the first international treaty focused on wetlands conservation. So which of the above statements are correct? So here, let's know the answers. Statement 1 is correct. As of 2024, India has 85 Ramsar sites covering an area of over 13 lakh hectares. And coming to the statement number 2, it is also correct, as the Ramsar Convention was signed in 1971 in Ramsar, Iran. And coming to state number 3, it is also correct, as the latest Ramsar site designated in 2024 is the Tawa Reservoir in Madhya Pradesh. Coming to statement number 4, it is also correct, as Ramsar Convention is indeed the first international treaty focused on the wetlands. So here option D is the correct answer, all of the above. And now coming to the next question. The next question is also on the Ramsar sites, and it goes like this. The first statement is, Chilka Lake is the largest coastal lagoon in India. And the second statement is, Keoladio National Park is renowned for its biodiversity. And the third statement is, Loktak Lake is the largest freshwater lake in northeastern India. Which of the above statements are correct? So now let's see the options. See, first statement is correct, as Chilka Lake is indeed the largest coastal lagoon in India, located on the eastern coast. And now coming to the statement number 2, the Keoladio National Park is renowned for its bird biodiversity, and this is true, especially for the migratory birds. You need to note this point. This is famous for its migratory birds biodiversity. And coming to the third statement, Loktak Lake is the largest freshwater lake in northeastern India. Yeah, this is also true, as Loktak Lake is the largest freshwater lake in the northeastern India, located in Manipur. So here the answer is option D. Now moving on to the next question. The next question is also on the Ramsar sites, which includes the Ramsar site and the state which it is located. See, first one is Chilka Lake and Keoladio National Park and Loktak Lake. So here the answer is option A, that is Chilka Lake, Odisha, Keoladio National Park, Rajasthan, Loktak Lake, Manipur. So here the correct option is option A. So moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding eri silk. See, here the question is asked about the eri silk. Now let's know about the eri silk and its significance. See, eri silk is a unique form and of being the world's only vegan silk made from the Philosamia ricini silkworm. Unlike traditional silks, eri silk stands out for its ethical and sustainable production process. This silkworm naturally exists in the cocoon, which avoids the killing of larvae, a process typically associated with the production of conventional silks. See, eri silk is primarily cultivated in the northeastern states of India, such as Assam, Bihar, West Bengal, and Odisha. Its production is considered environmentally sustainable and compassionate, providing a strong ethical alternative to traditional silks. The fabric produced is durable, warm, and soft, offering an eco-friendly option for textiles. So, now let's get back to our question. Consider the following statements regarding eri silk. See, first statement is eri silk is known as the world's only vegan silk, and the second statement is it holds a geographical indication tag, which is GI tag in short. So which of the above statements are correct? See, here statement 1 is eri silk is also known as vegan silk, and this statement is correct because it is produced without killing the silkworms, unlike the traditional silk production. And the second statement is also correct, as eri silk holds a geographical identification tag, which is GI tag in short, primarily produced in Assam and other northeastern states. So coming to the next question, consider the following statements regarding methanotropes. See, here the question is asked about the methanotropes. So now let's discuss about the methanotropes. Methanotropes are gram-negative bacteria that play a significant role in mitigating the environmental impact of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. These bacteria oxidize methane to produce energy, utilizing both oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor environments. Methanotropes thrive in methane concentrations ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 ppm, much higher than many typical emission sources, making them essential for naturally reducing methane emissions. One notable example of these bacteria is Methylo-2V microbiome brutinase 5GB1C, which stands out for its ability to consume methane even at low concentrations, ranging from 200 to 1000 ppm. This makes it particularly valuable in areas with lower methane levels, where other organisms may struggle. Moreover, this species not only reduces methane but also converts it into the biomass, which can be used as aquaculture feed. For every ton of methane consumed, Methylo-2V microbiome brutinase 5GB1C produces 0.78 tons of biomass, offering both environmental benefits by reducing methane and economic value through the creation of usable resources. This dual capacity highlights the importance of methanotropes in both combating global warming and promoting sustainable industry practices. So, now let's get back to our question. Consider the following statements regarding methanotropes, and the first statement is they are bacteria that utilize methane as a carbon and energy source, and the second statement is they can function only in oxygen-rich environments. So, which of the above statements are correct? See, here the first statement is correct because the methanotropes are a type of bacteria that utilize methane as their carbon and energy source, playing a significant role in methane oxidation. And when it's come to second statement, it is incorrect because methanotropes can function in both oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor environments, as they can use methane in the presence of oxygen or even in low oxygen environments. And the answer here is option A, which is statement 1 only correct. And coming to the next question, see, what is the primary chemical used in cloud seeding to induce artificial rain? Here, the question is given about the concept called cloud seeding. It is a process in which the artificial rain is formed. So, now let's discuss about the cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is a technique used to enhance rainfall by injecting chemicals such as silver iodide into clouds. This helps water droplets form when then fall as a rain. Then method requires specific conditions, including clouds with sufficient water vapor and atmospheric instability to trigger cloud formation. In India, cloud seeding has been tested in several states like Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, where it led to an increase in rainfall by up to 18% during the trials. While cloud seeding has not been extensively used in India for pollution reduction, experts believe it could potentially help by causing rain to wash away pollutants from the atmosphere. However, the effect may be temporary and further research is needed to understand its long-term benefits. In summary, cloud seeding can increase rainfall and may temporarily reduce pollution, but some studies are necessary to assess its effectiveness and sustainability. So now let's get back to our question. See, what is the primary chemical used in cloud seeding to induce the artificial rain? And the options are option A, silver iodide, option B, sodium chloride, option C, carbon dioxide, and option D, ammonium nitrate. So here the correct answer is option A, silver iodide. See, because the primary chemical used in cloud seeding to induce the artificial rain is silver iodide, and it acts as a nucleus around which water droplets can form and fall as a precipitation. Now coming to the next question, consider the following statements regarding Chandrayaan-3 mission. See, here the question is about the Chandrayaan-3 mission. So now let's discuss about the Chandrayaan-3 mission and what are its main motives and objectives. See, the National Space Day on August 23, 2024 will commemorate the first anniversary of Chandrayaan-3 successful soft landing on the moon. Celebrated annually on this day, National Space Day serves as a reminder of India's impressive achievements in space exploration and highlights the significant role of the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. The day is marked by various events, exhibitions, and activities aimed at increasing space awareness and inspiring future generations of scientists, engineers, and space enthusiasts. The Chandrayaan-3 mission launched by ISRO was a historic success. Its primary objective was to achieve a soft landing on the moon's south pole following the failure of Chandrayaan-2. The mission was successful with the Vikram lander landing near the moon's south pole on August 23, 2023. The Pragyan rover was deployed to conduct experiments, further enhancing this mission's scientific output. This achievement not only made India the fourth country to land on the moon, but it also marked India as the first nation to reach the moon's south pole, a region believed to hold water, ice, crucial for future lunar exploration. So now let's get back to our question. Consider the following statements regarding the Chandrayaan-3 mission. Here the statements are, first statement is to demonstrate rovering on the moon, and the second statement is it demonstrates safe and soft landing on lunar surface, and the third statement is the mission focuses on lunar habitation and resources extraction technologies, and the fourth statement is it primarily aims to study the moon's core and atmosphere. Which of the above best describes the technological advancements of Chandrayaan-3 mission? So which of the above statements describes the technological advancements? So that's what the question asked here. So now let's break down the sentences. So seeing the first one, to demonstrate rover roving on the moon. Yeah, the statement is correct because Chandrayaan-3 includes a rover that successfully demonstrated its ability to move on the lunar surface and conduct in situ experiments. And coming to the second statement, it demonstrates safe and soft landing on lunar surface. Yeah, this is also a correct statement because one of the primary objectives of Chandrayaan-3 was to achieve a safe and soft landing on the moon, which it successfully accomplished. And coming to the third one, the mission focuses on lunar habitation and resource extraction technologies. This is incorrect because the Chandrayaan-3 does not focus on lunar habitation or resource extraction. Its goals are more focused on demonstrating landing and roving technologies. And coming to the fourth statement, its primary aim to study the moon's core and atmosphere. Incorrect, because Chandrayaan-3 is not designed to study the moon's core or atmosphere, but rather to conduct surface level experiments and analyze the lunar soil. So here the correct option is option A. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. Now going to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Chandipura virus. See, here the question is asked about Chandipura virus, which is in short CHPV. So now let's discuss about the virus outbreak and the symptoms which causes the virus to outburst. On July 17, 2024, an outbreak of Chandipura virus was confirmed in Gujarat, India, where 133 cases of viral encephalitis were reported, including 47 confirmed cases of Chandipura viruses. Tragically, 15 deaths have been recorded and predominantly in rural areas of Gujarat. The virus primarily affects children under 15 years of age, with the majority of cases occurring in rural communities. The Chandipura virus belongs to the Rhabdoviridae family, which is also related to the rabies virus. It was first identified in 1965 in Maharashtra. The virus is primarily transmitted by female sandflies, which are particularly active during the monsoon season. Aedes mosquitoes may also play a key role in spreading of this virus. Infected individuals typically experience fever, vomiting, and neurological symptoms such as seizures, headaches, and sensitivity to light. Without timely treatment, complications can lead to death within 48 hours of hospitalization. Currently, there is no specific antiviral treatment for the Chandipura virus. Supportive care is provided to manage symptoms and complications. And preventive measures focuses on controlling sandfly breeding, using insect repellents, and improving sanitation to reduce the spread of virus. In response to the outbreak, public health authorities in Gujarat are ramping up surveillance, vector control, and public awareness efforts to curb the virus spread. And past outbreaks such as those in 2003 to 4 resulted in over 300 child deaths, underscoring the importance of swift action to prevent further life loss. So now let's get back to our question. Here, consider the following statements regarding the Chandipura virus. Here, the first statement is, Chandipura virus is transmitted by sandflies of the Phlebotomus genus. So, this is the correct statement because Chandipura virus is primarily transmitted by sandflies, particularly of the Phlebotomus genus. And coming to the next statement, the virus causes high fever, headache, and seizures mainly in children under 15 years of age. And this statement is also correct as we have discussed earlier. Chandipura virus predominantly affects children under 15 years, causing symptoms like high fever, headache, and seizures. In severe cases, it can lead to encephalitis. And coming to the next statement, diagnosis of Chandipura virus is confirmed by RT-PCR and virus isolation. Yeah, this is also a correct statement. RT-PCR and virus isolation are standard methods for diagnosing Chandipura virus. And coming to the fourth statement, there is an effective antiviral treatment for Chandipura virus. And this is a wrong statement because currently there is no specific antiviral treatment available for Chandipura virus, and treatment is supportive and focuses on managing symptoms. And here the correct answer is option A, which is statement 1, 2, and 3 are correct. Moving on to the next question. A 25-year-old man recently returned from a vacation to a tropical region where he swam in a warm water, freshwater lake. Now, he presents to the emergency department with a sudden onset of fever, headache, vomiting, and sensitivity to light. Over the next few hours, his condition worsens and he develops a stiff neck, seizures, and hallucinations. The doctors suspect he is suffering from a rare brain infection caused by free-living amoeba. Which of the following is most likely cause of this infection? So the options are option A, Naegleria fowleri, and Acanthamoeba species, Balamuthia mandilaris, Toxoplasma gondii. So the answer is Naegleria fowleri. So now in this context, let's discuss what is Naegleria fowleri and what is the disease it causes. So here the infection caused by the Naegleria fowleri is primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. What is PAM? Primary amoebic meningoencephalitis is a rare but fatal brain infection caused by Naegleria fowleri amoeba. This organism thrives in warm freshwater environments such as lakes, hot springs, and poorly maintained swimming pools. The amoeba enters the body through the nose, typically during activities like swimming or diving in contaminated water, and then travels to the central nervous system of the brain where it causes severe inflammation and damage. Now, looking at the symptoms of this infection, the initial symptoms of PAM typically include headache, fever, nausea, and vomiting. As the infection progresses, individuals may experience stiffness, confusion, and loss of balance, and even hallucinations. Without timely intervention, the infection can escalate rapidly, leading to coma and death within 1 to 18 days after symptoms first appear. So now let's know about its diagnostics and treatment. Diagnosing PAM usually involves a PCR test of cerebrospinal fluid to detect the presence of the Naegleria fowleri amoeba. This is currently no standard treatment for PAM, but some medications such as miltefosine from Germany and azithromycin have shown some effectiveness in managing the infection in certain cases. Despite this, the overall survival rate remains low, making early diagnosis crucial. So now let's look at its prevention. To prevent PAM, individuals should take precautions when swimming in warm fresh water. These include using nose clips to prevent water from entering the nostrils, avoiding diving into shallow or unsanitary water, and using boiled or distilled water for nasal rinsing. Additionally, ensuring that swimming pools are properly chlorinated can reduce the risk of amoeba exposure and help to prevent the infection. So now let's get into another question. See, this question is assertion and reasoning type. So now looking at the assertion, Naegleria fowleri, the causative agent of primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, typically enters the brain through the nose when a person swims in contaminated from freshwater, leading to a rapid neurological deterioration. And the reasoning is the amoeba enters the central nervous system via the olfactory nerve when provides a direct pathway to the brain, allowing the organism to cause severe inflammation and often leading to death within the days. Which of the following is correct option? So here's the decoding of the statements. See, assertion. Assertion is correct because Naegleria fowleri, commonly known as the brain-eating amoeba, enters the brain through the nose. Typically, when a person swims or dives in contaminated warm fresh water, it causes primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, a rapidly progressing and often a fatal disease. Now looking at the reason, it is also correct because the amoeba accesses the brain via the olfactory nerve, providing a direct pathway to the central nervous system. Once inside, it leads to severe inflammation and neurological damage, often resulting in death within the days. So now moving on to the next question. With reference to India's prototype fast breeder reactor, consider the following statements. So here the question is asked about the India's prototype fast breeder reactor. So now let's discuss what is it. See, the prototype fast breeder reactor built by Bhavini is a significant step in India's nuclear energy journey, as it is the country's most advanced reactor with a capacity of 500 megawatt utilizing uranium plutonium MOX fuel. The prototype fast breeder reactor is designed to function as a breeder reactor, meaning it generates more fuel while operating. This unique characteristic makes it a key element in India's three-stage nuclear program, which aims to eventually shift to thorium-based reactors for sustainable and long-term energy production. Moreover, the reactor's advanced safety features and ability to recycle spent fuel from previous stages helps to reduce nuclear waste, thus minimizing the need for extensive waste disposal sites. In terms of regulatory oversight, the Atomic Regulatory Board ensures that the prototype fast breeder reactor adheres to strict safety protocols, particularly during core loading and testing. Ultimately, the prototype fast breeder reactor is vital for India's energy security, enabling the generation of clean, sustainable energy while reducing dependence on imported uranium. It also highlights India's growing nuclear capabilities, contributing to the nation's goal of self-reliance in nuclear technology and laying the foundation for future development of thorium-based reactors. So now let's get back to our question. Here, with reference to India's prototype fast breeder reactor, consider the following statements. The prototype fast breeder reactor operates using thorium-based fuel cycle to reduce dependence on uranium. And the second statement says that it is designed to produce more fissile material than it consumes, aligning with India's long-term nuclear energy strategy. And the third statement says that the prototype fast breeder reactor is under the regulatory oversight of the Bhabha Atomic Research Center. And the fourth statement says that one of its key advantages is its ability to minimize the nuclear waste through spent fuel recycling. Which of the following statements or which of the above statements are correct? See, now let's discuss the statements alone. See, the first statement says that the prototype fast breeder reactor operates using a thorium-based fuel cycle to reduce dependence on the uranium. This is incorrect because the prototype fast breeder reactor uses a mixed oxide MOX fuel composed of plutonium-239 and uranium-238, not thorium. Thorium is planned for stage 3 of India's nuclear program, but prototype fast breeder reactor belongs to stage 2. Hence, this statement is incorrect. And whereas the second statement is correct because as a breeder reactor, prototype fast breeder reactor generates more plutonium for uranium and then it consumes. This supports India's three-stage nuclear energy program, particularly stage 2, which prepares fissile material for stage 3. And coming to the third statement is incorrect because the prototype fast breeder reactor is developed by Bhavini, Bharatiya Navikiya Vidyut Nigam, not Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So it is regulated by the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, and Bhabha Atomic Research Center is a research institution and not a regulatory authority. Now coming to the fourth statement, one of its key advantages is the ability to minimize nuclear waste through spent fuel recycling. As we have discussed, yeah, the statement is correct. And the prototype fast breeder reactor allows closed fuel cycle operation. Spent fuel is reprocessed to extract the fissile material, reducing the long-term nuclear waste. This is a major benefit of the breeder reactors. So now coming to the next question. With reference to NETC fast track, consider the following statements. So here the question is asked about the National Electronic Toll Collection fast track. So now let's discuss about the NETC fast track. The National Electronic Toll Collection FASTag is a passive RFID tag that allows for automatic toll payments without the need of vehicles to stop at the toll plazas. Placed on the vehicle's windscreen, the FASTag detects toll charges from linked prepaid, savings or current accounts seamlessly. One of the key features of FASTag is that it is vehicle specific, meaning it cannot be transferred to another vehicle, ensuring security and personalization for each car. The system operates on cashless payments, and if the balance in the linked accounts is low, the tag gets blacklisted, requiring the driver to make cash payments instead. And FASTags are rechargeable through various platforms like UPI, cards, NEFT, RTGS or net banking, offering flexibility to the users. The primary objectives of National Electronic Toll Collection include interoperability, meaning it works across India irrespective of the bank issuing the tag, and efficiency, reducing the handling of cash and improving toll payment transparency. Moreover, it helps to reduce congestion, fuel consumption, and pollution by allowing vehicles to pass through toll booths without stopping, leading to time and fuel savings. Additionally, it supports digital payments, contributing to India's push for cashless transactions and better audit control. And there are several new FASTag rules set to take effect from August 1st, 2024. These include the need to update KYC for accounts older than 3 years by October 31st, 2024 or face blacklisting. Furthermore, FASTags must be linked to a specific vehicle, and new vehicle owners must ensure that their FASTag is linked within 90 days of ownership. To ensure accuracy, FASTag details should match the Vahan registration, and vehicle owners must upload vehicle photos including side, front and visible FASTag images and link the FASTag to their mobile number. These updates are aimed at improving security, reducing toll delays, and enhancing the overall user experience with the October 31st, 2024 deadline in place to avoid disruptions. So now let's get back to our question. See, here the question is, with reference to the NETC FASTag, consider the following statements. And the first statement is, it uses an inactive RFID system for toll payments. And the second statement says that a single FASTag can be used for multiple vehicles. And the third statement says that KYC updates are mandatory for accounts older than 3 years. And the fourth statement is FASTag details must match the Vahan registration. So which of the above statements are correct? See, here the first statement is incorrect, as the NETC FASTag operates using a passive RFID mechanism, not an active one. So the passive RFID does not have an internal power source and relies on the reader at toll booths to the function. So the first statement is incorrect. And coming to the second statement is also incorrect, as the FASTag is vehicle specific and cannot be transferred between vehicles. A new owner must link FASTag to their vehicle within 90 days. Coming to the third statement is a correct statement. As per the new rules effective from August 1st, 2024, KYC updates are mandatory for accounts older than 3 years, failing which the FASTag might be blacklisted. And coming to the fourth statement is also a correct statement, as the FASTag details must match the Vahan registration and users are required to upload the vehicle photos. So here the answer is option B, which says statement 3 and 4 are correct. So now coming to our next question. Why does the JUICE mission use a double gravity assist involving the moon and earth? So here the main concept to discuss is the JUICE mission. So now let's discuss about JUICE mission. The JUICE mission was launched by European Space Agency in April 2023. It is a remarkable journey to explore Jupiter's and its moons. So since Jupiter is located at a strategic 800 million kilometers away, a direct would require immense amounts of fuel, which is not feasible. So to overcome this challenge, the spacecraft will employ a double gravity assist maneuver. In August 2024, JUICE will first swing past the moon to adjust its trajectory using the moon's gravity to change its path. Then it will use Earth gravity to slow down, allowing the spacecraft to gain the necessary velocity and positioning for a planned Venus flyby in 2025 before continuing its journey to Jupiter. So the primary scientific goals of the JUICE mission are to study the Jupiter's 3 largest moons, Callisto, Europa, and Ganymede. These moons are believed to have the potential to support life, and JUICE's exploration will build upon the findings of NASA Galileo mission, offering further insights into these fascinating bodies. Through this mission, ESA aims to continue its exploration of Jupiter's environment, helping us better understand the possibilities for life beyond Earth. So now let's get back to our question. See, here the question is asked that why does the JUICE mission use a double gravity assist involving moon and earth? And the options are to increase its speed for a direct journey to Jupiter, and the option B is that to save fuel and adjust its trajectory efficiently. And third option is to study the effects of lunar and terrestrial gravity on spacecraft. And the fourth option is to enter orbit around the Venus before heading to Jupiter. So here the correct answer is to save fuel and adjust its trajectory efficiently. Option B. So now coming to our next question. With reference to KAPP4, which is Kakrapakam Atomic Power Plant 4, 4th unit, a 700 megawatt pressurized heavy water reactor in India, consider the following statements. So here the question is asked about the Kakrapakam Atomic Power Plant. So before answering this question, now let's get into the topic. See, Kakrapakam 4th unit is 700 megawatt pressurized heavy water reactor located in Gujarat, and it represents a significant milestone in India's nuclear power program. Using natural uranium and heavy water, Kakrapakam Power Plant 4th unit is a critical part of its India strategic to expand its nuclear energy capacity. In 2023, the reactor achieved first criticality, marking the successful initiation of self-sustaining nuclear fission, a crucial step for operational readiness. With its thermal margin, the reactor operates safely, providing a large buffer to ensure safe operations, even under challenging conditions. Now, the reactor's safety features are designed to withstand potential accidents. It employs thin-walled pressure tubes, which help minimize damage in event of an accident. Additionally, passive delay heat removal ensures that heat is removed after a shutdown without requiring operation intervention, enhancing the safety. The reactor also incorporates a Generation 3 Plus design, which includes advanced safety systems that prevent accidents and steel-lined containment to ensure the safe containment of radioactive materials. And looking ahead, India has ambitious plans to add 14 more reactors by 2031 to 32, with Kakrapakam Atomic Power Station serving as a key step toward achieving a sustainable and safe nuclear energy future. This advancement will significantly contribute to India's efforts to diversify its energy mix and reduce its reliance on fossil fuels, thereby promoting a greener and more energy secure nation. So now let's get back to your question. So here the statements are: it issues enriched uranium as fuel and heavy water as a moderator. So this statement is incorrect, as Kakrapakam Power Station uses natural uranium as fuel, not an enriched uranium, and it also uses heavy water as the moderator, which typically for pressurized heavy water reactors. Hence this statement is incorrect because Kakrapakam power plant operates with natural uranium but not an enriched uranium. So now coming to the second statement, Kakrapakam atomic power plant follows a Generation 3 Plus reactor design incorporating advanced safety features. So here Kakrapakam power station is designed based on the Generation 3 Plus reactor technology, which includes advanced safety features such as passive safety systems, improved containment, and enhanced operational safety. And these features make it safer and more efficient compared to earlier generation reactors. Hence, this statement is correct. Now coming to the third statement, India aims to commission at least 10 more reactors by 2031 to 32 as a part of its nuclear expansion plan. So this statement is also correct, as India's nuclear expansion plan includes the goal of commissioning at least 10 more reactors by 2031. And this is in line with India's efforts to meet its growing energy demand while reducing its carbon footprint. Hence, this statement is also correct. And the answer is option D, which is 2 and 3 statements are correct. So moving on to the next question, with reference to the Hillcoal, India's new oral cholera vaccine, consider the following statements. So here the question is asked about the Hillcoal, India's new oral cholera vaccine. So now let's discuss about the OCV, oral cholera vaccine. See, before discussing about the vaccine, let's know about what cholera is. See, cholera is an acute diarrheal disease caused by the Vibrio cholera bacterium, typically spread through contaminated food or water, especially in regions with poor sanitation. The disease is characterized by severe watery diarrhea, which leads to dehydration. If untreated, cholera can be fatal in severe cases. Fortunately, most cases can be treated with an oral rehydration solution, while more severe cases may require intravenous fluids, ORS, and antibiotics. And prevention of cholera relies on early detection through surveillance, access to clean water, improved sanitation, and hygiene practices. Additionally, oral cholera vaccines can help prevent outbreaks, particularly in high-risk areas. A breakthrough in cholera prevention is developed by Hilcol, a new oral cholera vaccine by Bharat Biotech, licensed from Hilleman Laboratories. This vaccine is especially significant as it addresses the global shortage of cholera vaccines with the capability to produce up to 200 million doses annually. Approved by India's drug controller, Hilcol is also seeking WHO pre-qualification for global distribution, and the vaccine required 2 doses, one on day 0, that is before affecting, and another on day 14. And it is intended for children over the age of 1 year. It is stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius and has proven safe and effective through clinical trials in Bangladesh and India. Production takes place in Hyderabad, and there are plans for its distribution in high-risk regions through partnerships with GAVI and World Health Organization. Hilcol is a significant step forward in controlling cholera and improving global health security. So now let's get back to our question. So here the question is asked about to consider the statements and to identify the correct statements. So here the first statement is Bharat Biotech developed Hilcol independently without any external collaboration. And the second statement says that the vaccine requires a single dose for effective immunization. And the third statement says that Hilcol aims to address the global cholera vaccine shortage with production planned for international distribution through Gavi and World Health Organization. And the fourth statement is clinical trials for Hilcol were conducted in India and Bangladesh to ensure safety and efficacy. So here the first statement is incorrect, as Hilcol was developed by Bharat Biotech, but it was also licensed from Hilleman Laboratories and also it was collaborated with it. And so the statement is incorrect. And coming to the second statement, Hilcol requires 2 doses. So the statement is also incorrect. And coming to the third statement, third statement is correct, as the vaccine is designed to address the global cholera vaccine shortage with large-scale production planned for international distribution through Gavi and World Health Organization. And coming to the fourth statement is also correct, as clinical trials for Hilcol were conducted in India and Bangladesh, proving for its safety and efficacy. So now let's move on to the next question. Here the next question is about polio and vaccine-derived polio virus. So now let's discuss about it. The vaccine-derived polio virus is a rare form of polio that arises from the mutated weakened virus used in oral polio vaccine, particularly in under-immunized communities. This occurs when the vaccine virus mutates in areas with low vaccination rates, allowing it to circulate and cause outbreaks. Since 2000, over 10 billion oral polio vaccine doses have been administered globally, leading to 24 outbreaks with fewer than 760 reported cases. However, these cases highlight the importance of maintaining high-quality vaccination campaigns to prevent the vaccine-derived polio viruses. And polio is a disease caused by the polio virus, primarily which affects children under the age of 5 and can result in paralysis. It is transmitted through contaminated food or water and exists in 3 types of wild polio virus, which is wild polio virus 1, 2 and 3. To combat polio, 2 types of vaccines are used, which is oral polio vaccine, which contains a weakened live virus and, while highly effective in preventing polio, carries a rare risk of vaccine-derived polio virus. And coming to the second one, it is an inactivated polio vaccine, which contains an inactivated virus, eliminating the risk of vaccine-derived polio virus, but is less effective in building gut immunity where the virus is typically transmitted. And India's progress against polio has been remarkable. The country was declared polio-free by the World Health Organization in 2014 after its last record case in 2011. This achievement is a testament to success of India's widespread vaccination campaigns and efforts to maintain high immunization coverage across the population. Now let's get back to our question. Consider the following statements regarding polio and vaccine-derived polio virus. So here the first statement says that the vaccine-derived polio virus occurs when the weakened virus in the oral polio vaccine mutates. And the second statement says that polio spreads mainly through the respiratory route. And the third statement is India was declared polio-free by WHO in 2014. And the fourth statement is polio vaccine contains a live virus. So here, breaking the statements, the first statement is correct, as vaccine-derived polio virus can occur when the weakened virus in the oral polio vaccine mutates and regains its virulence in under-immunized populations. And the second statement is incorrect, because polio is primarily spread through the fecal-oral route, not the respiratory route. And the third statement is correct, as the World Health Organization declared India polio-free on March 27, 2014, following years of intensive eradication efforts. And the fourth statement is also correct, as the oral polio vaccine contains a live weakened virus. However, the inactivated polio virus contains a killed virus. Now, moving on to the next question. Which private organization contributed a payload to the SSLV D3 mission? So here the question is asked about small satellite launch vehicle which is related to D3 mission, that is EOS-8 Earth Observation Satellite. So now let's get into the topic. See, the EOS-8 Earth Observation Satellite, EOS means Earth Observation Satellite 8, was successfully launched on the small satellite launch vehicle D3 rocket, marking another milestone for India's space ambitions. The satellites were placed into orbit just 17 minutes after the liftoff. With the mission proceeding flawlessly and no deviations, the success of this launch demonstrated the readiness of small satellite launch vehicle for serial production as confirmed by the ISRO chairman. And the Earth Observation Satellite 08 satellite is equipped with advanced technologies including integrated avionics, dual gimbal antenna, phased array antenna, flexible solar panel, and a nanostar sensor. These systems enable the satellite to effectively carry out its Earth observation duties. It houses severely primary payloads such as electro-optical infrared for capturing infrared images which are critical for monitoring disasters and environmental changes, and global navigation satellite system reflectometry for remote sensing of oceans winds, soil moisture, and flood conditions. And then comes SIC UV diometer, which is used for monitoring UV levels, playing a vital role in Gaganyaan mission. And also the satellite is designed for a 1-year mission and operates in 475 kilometers altitude circular low Earth orbit. In addition to the primary load, the SR0 demosat developed by Space Kids India was also carried as passenger satellite. The SSLV developed by ISRO is a versatile launch vehicle designed for placing mini, micro, and nano satellites which weigh between 10 to 500 kilograms into orbit. It features a 3-stage propulsion system combining solid and liquid fuels, making it well suited for low-cost, rapid launches with minimal infrastructure, further enhancing India's capabilities in satellite deployment. So now let's get back to a question. So here the question is, which private organization contributed a payload to the SSLV D3 mission? As we have discussed earlier, the Space Kids India is a private constitution which contributed a payload to SSLV D3 mission, showcasing their commitment to promoting aerospace education. So now let's go to our next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Bhagata Bhakta community. So here the question is asked about the Bhagata Bhakta community, which is Bhagata tribe. Now let's discuss about the Bhagata tribe. The Bhagata tribe is primarily located in the Sundargarh region of Odisha, with smaller groups also residing in Koraput, Mayurbhanj, Keonjhar, and Sambalpur. The tribe has a population of approximately 8,813 individuals. The Bhagata people speak both Odia and Telugu languages, reflecting their diverse cultural influences. The name Bhagata is thought to be derived from their historical loyalty to regional rulers, a testament to their deep-rooted connection to the local socio-political landscape. And traditionally, the Bhagata tribe relied on agriculture and fishing as their primary occupations. However, over time, many members of the community have diversified into wage labor, adapting to the changing economic environment. Despite these shifts, the tribe continues to hold strong to its cultural traditions, particularly through the Bhagata Bhakta community, which remains deeply tied to agricultural practices and the legacy of their ancestors. The Bhagata Bhakta community in particular has shown resilience by maintaining its traditional ways of life while embracing modern changes. Their cultural heritage is a valuable part of Odisha's diverse tribal fabric, and they continue to showcase their identity through various customs and practices linked to agriculture and their ancestral part. So now let's get back to your question. So the question is asked that consider the following statements regarding the Bhagata Bhakta community. And the first statement is Bhagata Bhakta community primarily resides in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, and Bhagata tribe people are primarily involved in traditional agriculture practices and shifting cultivation. And the third statement is communication is mainly in Hindi and Odia. And the fourth statement is community's name Bhagata reflects historical significance and devotion to serving rules. So which of the above statements are correct? So seeing in the first statement, the Bhagata community primarily resides in Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, and the statement is correct. And the second statement is Bhagata community people are primarily involved in traditional agriculture practices and shifting cultivation. The second statement is also correct. Community speaks mainly Hindi and Odia. The third statement is incorrect, as the community mainly speaks in Odia and Telugu but not Hindi. Coming to the fourth statement, community's name Bhagata reflects historical significance and devotion to serving rulers. So the statement is correct, as the name Bhagata reflects historical significance and devotion to serving rulers in the region. And here the correct answer is option A. which says statement 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Now there's another question on Bagata tribe. See, the Bagata tribe, which contributed to the Lower Siluru hydroelectric project, originally migrated from which Indian state? And the answer is Odisha, obviously option B. Now moving on to the next question. See here, the question is, which of the following statements regarding the Moidams, the mound burial system of Ahom dynasty, is incorrect? So here the question is asked about the Moidams, which is built by Ahom dynasty. So now let's discuss about the mound burial systems of Ahom dynasty. See here, the Moidams are a royal burial mounds of Thai Ahom rulers, have been inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List on July 26, 2024, which is the 43rd site from India and 3rd site from Assam after Kaziranga and Manas, which is located in Koraidio, Assam, near the Patkai ranges. The Moidams were initially constructed with wood and later with stone and brick, signifying the divine kingship of Ahom rulers from 13th to 19th centuries. The Moidams are of exceptional cultural importance, akin to the pyramids of Egypt and the royal graves of ancient China, and are recognized by ICOMOS for outstanding universal value. And these burial sites have been carefully restored by the Archaeological Survey of India in collaboration with Assam's Archaeology Department, ensuring their preservation for future generations. And this recognition is a testament to India's rich cultural heritage, which is now globally acknowledged. India's being a member of the World Heritage Committee from the 2021 to 25 term, which ranks 6th globally for the number of World Heritage sites. The Moidams were officially reviewed during the 46th World Heritage Committee session, which is held from 21st of July to 31st of July 2024, further solidifying their importance on the global stage. So now let's get back to a question. Which of the following statements regarding Moidams are incorrect? So here the options are: option A, it was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the second option is it is the first UNESCO World Heritage Site from Assam, and the third option is Moidams are royal burial mounds built by the Ahom dynasty, and the fourth option is India is currently a member of the World Heritage Committee. See here, the incorrect option is option B, because it's not the first UNESCO World Heritage Site from the Assam. Now moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the Humayun's tomb in New Delhi. So here the question is asked about the Humayun's tomb museum, which is located in New Delhi. So now let's discuss about the Humayun's tomb. See, it is located in New Delhi. The Humayun's tomb museum explores the life and cultural significance of Emperor Humayun, highlighting the rich historical context of the Nizamuddin area. The museum delves into Humayun's legacy, featuring a significant letter written by the emperor shortly before his death in 1556, which ultimately inspired Akbar to commission the Grand Humayun's tomb as a tribute to his father. And the museum conservation and research efforts have been developed in collaboration with the Archaeological Survey of India, showcasing over 25 years of dedicated research on Humayun's legacy. It offers visitors a comprehensive understanding of Mughal history, architecture, and the era's influence on later constructions. And among the artifacts and exhibits, the museum presents over 500 items, including replicas of the tomb, ancient manuscripts, bronze sculptures, and warrior's helmet, all reflecting Mughal architecture and Emperor Humayun's personal interests. These exhibits highlight the cultural and architectural significance of tomb and its role in shaping Mughal Empire. So now let's get back to a question. See, consider the following statements regarding the Humayun's tomb museum in New Delhi, and the options are Mughal architectural masterpiece built entirely in white marble, and the second statement is garden tomb on Indian subcontinent, and the third statement is mausoleum built by Akbar in honor of his father, and the fourth option is tomb with inscriptions from the Akbarnama. See here, the correct option is option B, which is it is the garden tomb on Indian subcontinent. Humayun tomb is also called as the garden tomb on Indian subcontinent. So please note this point. Now, moving on to the next question. The acronym of BHISHM recently in the news stands for. So here the question is asked on BHISHM. Let's know the answer here itself for clear clarity. See, the BHISHM stands for Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog Hita and Maitri. Here the option B is the correct answer. See, now let's discuss about the Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog Hita and Maitri. The BHISHM initiative, part of Project Arogya Maitri, is an humanitarian program designed to provide essential medical supplies for developing countries facing the impact of natural disasters or humanitarian crisis. It features BHI-SHM cubes, compact and portable units measuring 15 inches, which are organized by injury type for easy access in emergencies. Weighing 20 kilos, these cubes can be transported via air, sea, land, or even drones, ensuring swift delivery to affected regions. Each cube can manage up to 200 emergency cases, offering support for trauma, burns, fractures, and basic surgeries. There are two types of cubes: mother cubes designed for first line care and mini cubes which focus on surgical support with the capacity to conduct 10 to 15 surgeries daily. Additionally, the cubes incorporate RFID technology for inventory management and come with an app containing instructions in 180 languages, enabling medical terms to operate effectively even in diverse linguistic settings. This initiative plays a vital role in quickly mobilizing medical aid, ensuring that essential care reaches those in need during critical times. So now let's get back to our question. As already we have discussed the question, the full form of BHI-SHM is Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyogita and Maitri. So now moving on to the next question, which of the following are classified as critical minerals in India? So here the question is asked about the critical minerals in India. So now let's discuss about it. See, critical minerals are minerals that are essential for a country's economy, security and industries, yet come with high supply risk and significant economic impact. These minerals are crucial for sectors such as technology, clean energy, defense and transportation. However, their supply chains are often vulnerable due to their limited availability in few countries, creating potential risk for nations reliant on these resources. Example of critical minerals include lithium, graphite, cobalt, titanium and rare earth elements. And for India, critical minerals hold substantial importance. They help in planning and securing the nation's mineral assets, reducing dependence on imports, especially from the countries like China. By strengthening domestic industries and value chains, India can bolster its economic resilience and enhance its strategic autonomy, ensuring a more sustainable and secure future in vital sectors like clean energy, defense and technology. So now let's get back to your question. So which of the following are classified as critical minerals in India? Which are lithium, cobalt, nickel, graphite and bauxite. Choose the correct answer. So here option B is correct, as lithium, cobalt, nickel and graphite are classified as critical minerals in India due to their importance in clean energy technologies and such as batteries for electric vehicles and renewable energy storage. And coming to the bauxite is for aluminum production and it is not classified as a critical mineral in India. So here the correct answer is option B. Now moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding battery energy storage systems. So here the question is asked about the battery energy storage system. So now let's discuss about them. See, the battery energy storage systems play a critical role in stabilizing the energy grid by storing energy from renewable sources such as solar and wind and releasing it when the demand is high. The process begins with charging, where energy is stored using renewable sources. Smart control systems determine the optimal times to store or release energy, ensuring the stored energy is available during peak demand periods. See, the battery energy storage systems is essential for several reasons. It helps in maintaining the grid stability by storing excess energy generated during low demand times, such as during sunny or windy conditions, and releasing it when renewable energy generation is low, like on cloudy or windless days. Additionally, the battery energy storage system reduces fossil fuel usage by providing an alternative to fossil fuel based power plants, which makes energy generation cleaner. It also offers significant economic benefits, including reduced energy cost and improved grid efficiency. Some of the key benefits of battery energy storage system include ensuring the reliability of renewable energy by providing continuous supply, and cost reduction by storing cheap energy during off-peak hours by use during peak demand, and effective peak load management by reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Moreover, it also supports the integration of large-scale renewable energy, facilitating the transition to a more sustainable energy system in India. And in India, the current energy storage capacity stands at 37 megawatts, but the country will need to reach 200 gigawatt by 2040 to meet its renewable energy targets. The Indian government has introduced several initiatives to promote the energy storage, including the National Energy Storage Mission aimed at establishing India as a global hub for energy storage. Moreover, the PLI scheme has allocated 18,100 crore rupees to boost battery production, and viability gap funding of 3,760 crore is available for battery energy storage system projects, further strengthening the country's commitment to renewable energy integration. So now let's get back to your question. Consider the following statements regarding battery energy storage system. Here the first statement is, the battery energy storage system helps in stabilizing the grid by using energy generated during peak times. And the second statement is, India's current energy storage capacity is 200 gigawatts. And the third statement is, National Energy Storage Mission aims to make India a global hub for energy storage. And coming to the last statement, battery energy storage systems store energy generated from renewable sources like solar and wind for later use. Which of the above statements are correct? See, looking at the first statement, it is a correct statement because battery energy storage system play a crucial role in stabilizing the grid by storing excess energy during peak generation times and releasing it during peak demand. And coming to the second statement is incorrect because India's current energy storage capacity is significantly lower than 200 gigawatts, but it is expected to grow substantially in the coming years. Now coming to the third statement is correct as the National Energy Storage Mission is focused on positioning India as a global leader in energy storage technologies and the solutions. And the fourth statement is, the battery energy storage systems store energy generated from renewable sources like solar and wind for later use. And this statement is correct as they essential for storing the energy from intermittent renewable sources like solar and wind, ensuring a consistent power supply. And finally, we end this video here by discussing the most important and relevant topics for UPSC CSE Prelims 2025 from the August month of 2024. And we believe that this video will be very helpful for your preparation, and do not forget to download the PDF which is given in the description.